The boys are
Daniels.
back in town.
Woo!
Yo, for real.
Yeah, you know the boys are back.
Yes, sir.
Had to do a little
Hey,
thing.
I'm sorry. That was my first time experiencing that, and that was great in real time. But yeah, man, it's a pleasure. It's been too long.
It has.
Heck yeah. Hey, our boy Blake is a newly engaged man. Come on, man. Come on, give it up to this guy.
Thank you. Thank you.
How is this, man? Does it feel different?
It does, but it doesn't. We've
Yeah.
been together for going on 7 years this year.
But it's
You
like
know,
a new honeymoon
It's
phase.
it
huh?
is. It's like it's just solidified.
Yeah. You're like, oh, we locked in.
For sure.
Heck yeah. Congratulations, man.
Thank you, brother.
Speaking of locked in, you guys know of Davis Clark?
Mm-mm.
I don't think I do.
What? He's a dude on Instagram who's always locked in, and he shit himself.
Okay, when you say locked
locked
in,
Bro, he's locked in.
can we elaborate on how locked in he is to have
And
them
what is he
shit
locked
himself?
in on?
You know what? I feel like the only way to really explain this is to look up some Davis
Yo, I don't
Davis
know how we
clips.
got here with this segue, but yes, congratulations, Blake.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, dude, it's sick. Davis Clark.
He's locked in.
We're gonna see you
He's
shit
locked
yourself,
in.
dude. Yeah.
He's locked in. All right. All right. Screen recording, so you guys are seeing it too. All right, people. This.
Oh, I have seen this dude.
Let's go, people. Have a Saturday. Get those chores done. Out here, recycle. The heavy hitters said less meetings, less talking, more spreadsheets. So they banished me to be locked in for a work from home Friday. But don't worry, I'm going to be back. The heavy hitters.
They
UMass
banished
visit on
him for
Monday.
being
It's
locked
going to be
in,
wicked
bro.
fun to get back on campus, see all the big things going on. Let's have a day, people. UMass.
Yeah, so he be super locked in. I'm gonna show you him shitting his pants because that's
That's
fucking
wild.
insane.
Oh Lord.
Is this the right one? I gotta find the right one.
Not
Okay,
gonna lie,
is
this
it.
guy looks like he just rails lines.
Yeah, he does. But I think I feel like he's straight
I'm
edge.
locked.
I feel like he's straight edge. I could be wrong. Peep this
Oh
now.
God.
Gave it out to you, everything I have for the people. 256. I shit my pants like crazy. I'm going after it all day, every day for the people. 2 hours, 56 minutes, man, people. Gave it out to
Did you see that? Look at this.
6. I shit.
Is there actually shit in between his thighs?
It looks like blood. I don't know what it is.
That's not shit. No, there's no way.
I don't know.
There's no way.
Dude Wipes has been trying to sponsor him though.
There is no way.
He could use some wet wipes for
Dude,
sure.
there is no way. That's brutal. There's no. You would have to quit running if it
It's
reached.
blood because it like crusted up after mile 14 and he just started scraping and he started bleeding down his
Bro,
leg.
he was locked in. He was locked in, bro. Davis Clark, bro. He's a role model. He's an idol.
He should have locked in that shit. That's what he should have done.
Yeah, he should have clenched them cheeks, but I don't think he could have.
What does he do though? Like looked like he had a day job of sorts.
Yeah. So all right. So basically, he's like a office guy, 9 to 5, but like he's just like super motivational for those guys. So like at first, like he wasn't getting any fucking like clout on social media, and then he just started popping off because people were like, "Yo, this is funny," but like. This isn't a character. This seems like this is actually this dude because he's been doing it for so fucking long. And if you read the comments, it'll be like, yo, who the fuck is this guy? All he does is make these videos and he makes me lock in every single day and I'm such a better person because of it. Like they just all start off negative and they fucking switch over because they're like, yo, he's that guy.
He's Mr. Locked In.
He's locked in, bro.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I will always associate him with being locked in now. Every time I see his face, I'm like, yeah, that's that dude.
Every
I'll
time
probably
you're
think
locked
about
in.
him shitting himself, but
Yeah.
that'll be second.
But think about how locked in you got to be willing to like shit yourself.
It's a commitment. Yeah, there's definitely a series of thoughts that goes through your mind, I feel, when the possibility of shitting yourself even enters your brain, like you got to run through that play by play of what could possibly happen because You gotta know what kind of shit it is, where you are, you know, what are the emergency,
What kind of
where are the
shit?
emergency exits, you know?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
all that
yeah.
shit that you get when you get on the plane and you don't really want to listen, you know. But like, you need to know, bro.
He
when
had
it comes to
options.
when it comes to shitting yourself, you need to know those emergency evacuation plans for sure.
No, there were places he could have shit, but then that would have affected his time, bro.
What if like he just wasn't locked in the night before and he had like a taco truck on the corner and then he
Oh,
just like got the queasies?
that's possible, but I feel like he would have told us.
He said I wasn't locked in, but then I was so locked in that I
Yeah.
just let it rip.
I don't see him. I don't see him being locked out.
He's just locked in, huh?
But when you said he'd be railing lines, I'm like, actually, like,
That might have been why he shit.
yeah, he could have had some stuff. No, I don't
Full
doubt it.
marathon and hitting lines is crazy.
Full marathon in itself is crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
who are we talking over
That's
here?
nuts.
It's
Bro,
crazy.
in high school, we were friends with this kid who would turn the fuck up. Legendary. He would turn the fuck up, be blacked out. One time, he was so blackout that our other friend was holding him on his shoulders and just dancing with him. Like, that was like he was like a prop at the party at that point. Like, he was so fucked up.
Was he alive or was he limp? You know what I mean? Was it like his
Nah,
black...
he was limp. He was
Yeah,
limp.
so this dude was out
He
and
was
they were just
blacked out.
parading him around.
Yeah, just
Who is this?
Enoch.
Oh,
We were just at his house.
At his house.
He's blacked out. His parents out of town.
Bro. So it's
somewhere.
Weekend at Bernie's.
we
Yeah.
used to
Yeah,
throw
it's Weekend at
down
Bernie's.
his
So
crib.
right,
Parents
peep
would
this
come
though,
over.
right? So next morning, we're all passed the fuck out. We wake up, bro is nowhere to be found. We are worried about him. He comes back 2 hours later, placed first in his marathon.
Nah,
So-
bro. Like the day after.
Wallahi, bro. Wallahi, bro. He's a legend, bro. He woke up and ran that shit like it was nothing.
This guy is definitely one of a kind.
Really?
There was
Hey.
at one point he worked for me at Papa John's, and then he left, and then he went and just lived on the side of a mountain in a hut. No electricity, no heat.
in the
He
middle.
made
He
fires.
moved
Hey.
to Boone and did it in the middle of the
Hey,
winter,
I believe
dude.
it. Dude's name is Enoch. I fucking believe it. And he worked for Blake under Papa John's. I have some level of familiarity with with Blake's Papa John's regime, and I believe it. So
Nah, he's a legend. He's always gonna be a legend, bro. He did that shit, and I was like, we were worried for him. We were like,
There was a lot of times we were worried for him.
yeah, but he's honestly,
He'd always pull through somehow, some way.
he's honest. Hey, get out of here, bro. She's trying to sneak her way over to you. She knows you'll give her the pets. Nah, he's honestly the reason that I'm such a firm believer in karma, because I was like, he should be dead. I'm like, the only thing that makes sense is he's such a good guy that like he's not dead right now.
Facts.
Because he would be doing shit where it's like anyone else would have died. And bro, one time I saw him jump out of his second story window.
just cause.
So all
That's
right,
how he'd sneak out.
we were sneaking out of his house one day, and he was like, "Bro, you want to jump out the window with me?" And I was like, "We're on the second story,
This
bro."
dude's like a twig too. Like he's very. He's
Really?
not like.
Is he tall?
He's tall, but he's
Yeah.
super skinny.
Yeah, he's yeah. So he wanted to do that. I'm like, fuck no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna break an ankle. Like, let's just go out the back door, which we did, and it worked perfectly fine.
He's like, good to learn a new way.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, I just wanted to try it. I don't know. And then one day we go to pick him up. He's sneaking out again. We're, waiting for him to come around back, and all of a sudden you just see a fucking body. Whoosh. And he doesn't get up immediately. But he gets up and he's straight. He's straight.
You just see a body fall and it just stays down.
Bro, we're just like, well, we didn't know what it was, though. It was like, are we tripping? Like, did you hear something? And bro gets up, hops in the car, and it's fucking ready to go, man.
I remember
Jeez.
we'd be driving in his Jeep Cherokee, and he would like it'd either be like a can or some random ass bowl. No heads up, no warning. He'll just be like, grab the wheel, and he just starts bringing the fucking bowl. We'll be in the middle of the road, and you gotta grab this shit, keep the car straight. This dude is hilarious. I miss that
Dude is lighting an apple on fire in the middle of merging on the interstate. Like,
He-
bro, grab my shit.
He's definitely the apple lighting on fire kind of guy. He got me, there's a point in time where I smoked cigarettes,
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think I knew that about you.
I worked at Papa John's, bro. I had to get a
Hey.
break somehow, you know
Hey,
what I'm
only
saying?
way you get a break.
that's trash. That is
Mhm.
trash.
I'd be in there
That's trash.
building boxes, and I'm just like, so you telling me if I smoke,
I can quit. You'll still pay me, but I can quit
I can
doing
just
the
go
boxes.
outside,
Yeah.
and everyone's like, yeah, yeah, and I'm like, okay. At first, I thought it was like,
You just like hit it once, and then you got addicted to the cigarettes.
nah, I never got addicted. People were always like, you're gonna get addicted, and I was like, nah, because I started smoking more frequently because I was like taking long drives, and they would just help keep me up.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was just doing something, and it kept me active, and then I just stopped one day because motherfuckers was like, you're addicted, and I was like, I'm not, but I did think that shit looked cool as fuck. Like I did feel cool as fuck. To this day, anytime I smoke a cigarette, I feel like the coolest guy.
Did you ever go through like a vape era after that?
Nah. So while I was smoking cigarettes, Cam was the dude who was like, "Why don't you just roll your own?" That's how I got good at rolling joints because
Oh,
I
okay.
started rolling my own tobacco. I wasn't doing that at Taco. I mean, I wasn't doing that at Papa. That's when they were like, "You're addicted," and I was like, "I'm not. It's just a vibe." Like, I was like, "You think cigarettes are cool?" When I rolled the spliff up, you know,
I
that's how I
mean,
felt.
I feel like rolling your own tobacco is definitely a level, I'm not going to say you were definitely addicted, but you weren't a beginner. If you're rolling your own shit, like, you're doing more than most people.
And you gotta go to like typically more than one spot. Like you gotta go pick up tobacco.
Well, I had tobacco in a big bag, and then I just had joint papers because I still smoked weed.
Mm-hmm.
And then whenever I had my little weed bag, I just stuffed it in my big tobacco baggie.
You got tobacco smelling weed.
No, I had it in my baggies.
Okay.
But then it's like I was just preventative measures.
If you're rolling a spliff, anyways. It is
yeah,
what it
yeah,
is.
it was cool. It was a
I
time.
remember some spliff days.
And it was at a time where like people were smoking blunts. I had to wean my way off of blunts. I guess I don't know naturally, but I was just it was when we were like going to the cliffs and like that. I was like I don't know, fucking like 19. I was supposed to be rolling up some.
We
tobacco.
all did questionable shit at that age, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I never really went. I mean, I've smoked cigs for sure. Like, always drunk though. Like, I don't think I've ever smoked a sober cigarette ever. I remember one time I tried to smoke a cigarette like a little bit too early. Like, I hadn't had enough to drink, and it was gross. Yeah, gross. Like, oh, try this again and 2 more fucking cocktails.
I used to smoke hella cigarettes because of Papa John's. Probably close to a pack a day at one point. It's
Yeah.
terrible.
I mean, look, man, I definitely get it. I'm a restaurant lifer, up to this point in my days, and just always been a weed smoker is all. I went through like there were times where I couldn't smoke weed and I would smoke a vape. Never really like cigarillos or anything like that. But yeah, other than that, I've never really been into nicotine, tobacco, not really any of that shit.
Yeah,
Zen,
when I became
Zen
a
is Zen
manager.
is the thing now. You're on the fucking Zens, right?
Gotta get a little buzz.
Everybody and their mother on the Zens.
When I was driving just a lot, it was just like taking a couple hours to drive. Like smoking cigs was just like I don't know.
See, I was the opposite. I started smoking cigarettes when I was a manager because I couldn't leave the store to get high.
Mhm.
So when I was a delivery driver, bro, I would roll up with one hand while I was delivering. I
see.
was so fucking blitzed.
See, I've never
When I
been
was
I've never been that
delivery
good.
driver.
I've known people that have been able to do shit like that, and I'm not surprised at all that you were entering that category. But yeah, I've never been able to do shit like that.
You could smell this shit standing next to my car. It was so bad.
Hell yeah, that was a time,
Hey.
Papa John's.
Nah, he was delivering them fucking pizzas though. Don't get it twisted. 15 minutes or less.
Oh, damn right. I was
15
like
minutes or less.
Skippy.
Blake's rolling his shit up, smoking it, and getting your
No
pizza
time
on
wasted.
time. Yeah,
I
no doubt about
I
it.
wasn't even smoking when I was delivering pizzas. It was just like when I was taking far drives. I feel like that summer we were going to the beach a lot, and I was just driving to like Myrtle,
Yeah.
like sometimes there and back same day, like wilding, like
Yeah.
telling our moms like we were just like up the street and like pulling up. So then yeah, we had to get the bro. Oh man, I'm gonna save this story. But on one of those drives back from Myrtle at 3 a.m., wallahi, me and Matthew saw a UFO.
Word?
Yeah.
Why
Literally.
are we saving it? My interest is.
I'll tell
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
I'll
no,
tell
it's
you.
gotta
Okay,
come now.
I'll tell
Yeah,
you the
yeah,
story,
come
but
on.
I'm gonna let him come, and I'm gonna let him tell it from his perspective without whatever, you know what I mean? But literally, we're in the car together. It's like 3 a.m. early, like late as fuck. We're driving. Maybe it's 12. I don't know. It was late as fuck at night. I'm like, falling asleep. You know, it's late enough to where I'm falling asleep, but I'm feeling guilty because it's just us in the car.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, I can't be falling asleep. So like I'm feeling like that. We're not really talking. In the sky we see like this thing go like this, comes down, fucking does weird movement and just hooks off in another direction, disappears. And then
Is that any of ours?
I don't know, that's not mine.
Doesn't sound like mine either.
Doesn't sound like mine either. But yeah,
But yeah.
I'm a sucker for a UFO story.
So okay, let
Yeah,
me
you don't
you,
got to tell
you,
me
right?
twice.
So it comes down, it hooks around, dips out. Like I said, I'm tired as fuck. I'm like, this is weird. So I don't even say shit. I'm like, I'm tripping. That don't make no sense. I'm tired as fuck. I just sit there. And then 3 seconds later, he's like, bro, please tell me you're awake. And I'm like, why? He's like, please tell me you saw that. And then I get goosebumps. I'm like, okay, you saw that shit too. And we were like, yo, what the fuck? And we were kind of that kept us up for the ride because we were kind of freaking out. Like, bro, what the fuck? Because it was like, we've seen shooting stars, but shooting stars are just like, boom.
Mm-hmm.
It was, and we've seen planes, but it was just the way it kind of like, it like came to like a halt, zigzagged a little bit, then shot off in another direction. And it was just like, it was nutso, bro. Absolutely nutso.
Never seen me a UFO. I've been waiting.
Nah, me neither. I was hoping maybe you'd see something when you went out west. I feel like that's usually where people see that kind of thing.
Fortunately not.
You be looking up?
Yeah.
Just look up, bro. I feel like, nah, I've never been like a believer of that shit, but after seeing that shit, like, I don't even know what I would call myself, but I'm like, nah, I saw that shit. I didn't record it. So it's not something I talk about, like, not even on some crazy shit, but I'm just like, nah, I don't know. Like, I'm just like, that was fucking weird. And then one day I saw Elon Musk, his Starlink shit, and I was like, oh, nah, it's confirmed. But then I realized it was his shit.
Yeah, my brother took a picture of that. It looked pretty fucking crazy. Like,
Yeah.
all in a straight line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was over Concord.
In his backyard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably the same shit you saw.
Yeah. It was, we were looking at the sky and they were just like dots, like literally Starlinks. Like they're all moving together. But when they take off, that's how they do it
In
till
a
they get
line.
to a certain spot
And
and
then
then
they
they fucking
fucking
disperse.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I was like, that's nuts. Whose fucking car is it?
Yeah, I gotta check now.
At this
If
point.
it's mine, I'm like, fuck.
I parked
It's
pretty
out
far
there,
away.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I parked pretty far away. I don't think it would be mine.
Bro, you
But-
got tattoos yet?
I got one.
You got, oh yeah, you got your lion?
Wolf.
Or wolf.
Yeah.
You know what's kind of like nuts? It's off. I wonder if that was his. Or if this is coincidence. Was it yours?
No.
Oh, okay. I was like, either this is a coincidence or that was his shit just turned off. Nah, I was telling Dan.
I had
It's,
to check. I got my clubs in the back of my car.
I feel
Can't have
that.
no bullshit
Yeah,
going
so do
on.
I actually. That
Yeah.
wouldn't be good.
Mine's in my truck though. You can see mine.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have a trunk.
I was telling Dan that it's crazy that you got the lion tattoo and you got the wolf tattoo. Because when I was younger, one of the tattoos I've always wanted across my chest was a lion on one side and a wolf on the other.
Hell yeah.
We've
I
talked.
was like-
Yeah, we've talked about this.
I was
Fire.
like, damn,
'Cause-
that's ironic as fuck.
Because one day it's gonna make a fire ass picture.
That will be a cool ass picture. You guys got on the same arm or different arms?
No, opposite. He's the right,
Okay.
I'm the left. Yeah.
That's cool. All right, bet. So I'll get the wolf on the left. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
A little wolf-looking dog like Essie.
Yeah, but her eyes are crazy. She's a lovely dog. I love animals.
Me too.
I love all animals, but yeah, she's a treat.
Yeah,
can
you
just
got you
tell.
got cats.
I do have cats. I had a dog growing up, but now I have cats. It's nice because they don't require as much
Hey.
maintenance, you know, and I spend a lot of time out of the house, like at work and whatnot. And I also live in an apartment, and you know, it's the guilt of not being able to take the dog out or having a yard for the dog to run around in, and I can appreciate that the cat is happy doing its own fucking thing, and you know, they get fed, and then they just chill out.
She used to live in my grandma's house, and my grandma has a backyard that she can run in. But I feel like she's a lot happier here because I think, like, more than anything, I know dogs like to run, and I do take her to the dog park, but like she just likes to hang out. Like she just likes to be around people and shit. But it definitely depends. Like I wouldn't have a Great Dane like in here. She's like she's as big as I would have a
Yeah,
dog in an apartment.
she's a good sized dog. She's not huge. She's not, like I said, I lived when we lived in the city, the apartment like in metropolitan area, there were people with some of the biggest dogs I've ever fucking seen, man. And those apartments were like shoe boxes. I did that. I can't understand. Like I grew up with a German Shepherd, like 100-pound dog. You know what I mean? Like you need room, you need space for him to do shit, and to have a Great Dane dog that's fucking as tall as Bree, in your apartment, like that's wild.
Yeah.
How much are you spending on costs just to feed that thing?
That's why I never got a dog. I mean, I grew up with dogs myself. I want a dog to this day, but I need a yard for him, I need to be able to be around him more.
Yeah,
That's why I got a cat. I love fucking animals.
yeah. Nah, it was
They bring a
dope.
different kind of love and appreciation into a house.
Yeah, I've been able to work from home more now, so it just made sense to have her around, and then like on breaks bring her to the dog park and shit.
Oh yeah.
But like she honestly like I feel like she ran a lot more before. Like she would just get excited and run. Kind of like when you guys like come here, she's like lit and she runs. So whenever I'd go to my grandma's, she would always be like excited and
Yeah.
running around. But now that she's with me all the time, like she just be chilling.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a vibe. She'd be like, I know she'd be getting on Bree's nerves though, because like when we're in the shower, she likes to just like hang out in there and shit, and she gets so jealous if like Bree hugs me for too long or anything like that.
That's funny.
And just like how you hear her whining, like that's how she gets. Like she's just fucking. She likes the attention.
Do you ever take her around other dogs?
Yeah, so she's good around other dogs if they get to actually be around each other. But whenever she's just walking and sees another dog and like doesn't get to have a proper introduction, she gets like weird. Like she just sees a dog and she's like, "What the fuck?" But like if she's like in close proximities with dogs, she's chill as fuck.
Yeah, she heard a dog bark when I went out to the balcony, and she's like, she probably
Yeah,
could see him. Like, what is that? Where is he?
she likes small dogs. She doesn't like dogs bigger than her.
I feel like that's the typical thing, but when the dog I had growing up, German Shepherd, like if a dog was small, like he wouldn't even acknowledge a small dog. So like a dog like Ian had, like Tara's mom has, you know what I mean? Those little
Yeah.
dogs that just fucking yap. Like he wouldn't even look at it. Like it could be right in his face, and he just won't give it attention. But if it's like a golden retriever or a dog, maybe Essie might be big enough, but like a dog of a good sized dog, then he's like, all right,
Yeah,
now you're a bit of a threat.
Yeah.
Bree's
I'll
dog.
assert my dominance.
Bree's dog's fucking not even like she doesn't like some big dogs like in the sense that she gets angry. She just like Bree's dog's like big and just be kind of like all up on her shit, and she don't like that. Like I think she likes to meet other dogs and like have a pretty like chill like interaction. But dogs that be all up on her, like she be like, what the fuck? But small dogs can't do that. So she's just been having a good time with small dogs.
Facts. I feel like S would be the one to roll over though,
Yeah, she's
even with a small dog.
with a small
Typically,
dog.
that's
Yeah,
how they assert dominance. So whatever dog is still standing and whatever dog lays down on their belly,
yeah.
they're being the submissive dog.
Well, with small dogs, she's even with big dogs. It's not even that she's like submissive. She just don't
Well,
like
that's
it.
what dogs order. One's
Yeah.
gonna do it or another. Typically,
Her like with what you call it, fucking Bree's dog. She'll be around Essie, and like Essie just won't want to like play as much as her dog will, and she'll just like be moving around, and like you could tell that Essie's just like annoyed because she's just like you're doing too much. But like I guess like small dogs just don't be doing that much.
No, that definitely happens. I feel like dogs have personalities.
Yeah.
Like my parents currently now have two dogs, and they have very different personalities. And then my brother has two larger dogs. Like my parents have one bigger dog, one smaller dog. My brother's dogs are both big. Sometimes all four of them will get together and they'll just pack off. Like the one that doesn't like to play will just fuck off. Like she'll go lay on the couch or do her own thing, and then they'll wrestle and have a good time.
I think she just likes playing with people more than dogs. So like when dogs be trying to play with her,
she's like, "You can't pet me."
yeah, she likes the pets and shit. Like, but she likes when dogs like chase her, but like when she wants to stop, she be like, "All right, yeah, stop fucking chasing me." Because she has some dog friends in the neighborhood that are bigger dogs that she likes, but like maybe chilling. It's like she knows we're talking about her.
Right.
She's like, yo, my homies. I want
Bro,
to see my homies.
UFC 300 was fucking nutso.
Shit was absurd.
I got a new respect for Max Holloway. I had respect for him, but I'm like, nah, Max is that dude.
I always had respect for Max, but going up to that division, just alone from the size and who he was fighting, definitely counted him out. But he proved everyone.
Oh,
wrong.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've been a Max fan for a long time, and he's win or lose, like even the Volkanovski trilogy, as fucking sad as it was, just great fights, you know what I mean?
Always.
And same with Gaethje. And I think because of how Holloway looked when he went up to 55 in the second Poirier fight, you know, didn't look so great. I was just concerned. I didn't want to see him get
Well,
fucking
didn't he take that fight on short
smoked.
notice?
He did. Yeah,
Like
he
6
did.
weeks.
He did. And you could see the difference because
6
how,
weeks?
how
That's
built he
barely
was.
a month.
And he, you know what I mean? It's going up a weight class. And so it was
Right.
just not proper. You could see in his body shape, like if you go back and watch that fight, whereas in the Gaethje fight, he looks big, strong, like
Yeah,
He
I think
looks
he
like
was
he's
probably
good.
just heavy, and it was just like I couldn't make
Exactly.
45 if I
Yeah.
wanted.
I think he looks better at that weight than he does at 45. He
Yeah.
looks a lot. He looked faster than he did at 45, and he was definitely
Yeah.
stronger.
I think he's just older now. Like when
Well,
Max
that's
was
what-
younger,
That's
he
why
was
people
just
write
smaller.
him
I think-
off, because he's been
think-
fighting since he's 20. For 10 years, he's been fighting the who's who. So he finally lost 3 fights to the fucking guy, Volkanovski.
Mhm.
And then people are like, nah, Max is washed.
I think they
he's
just
done."
think he's old because of how long he's been fighting. Like when you're fighting for
Yeah.
that long, they're like, nah, he was like fighting way back when. You know what I'm saying?
But
Yeah.
he's now in his prime. He's
There's
32.
definitely something
Yeah.
to both of those things for sure, because he, even though he's only 32 or whatever, he could have accumulated so many, you know, fight minutes that he's a little older than he actually is. But I think that performance showed he's still there for sure.
100%.
After he lost the third Volkanovski fight, as a fan myself, I was a little worried about what the future would look like for him. But, you know, then he looked great against Zombie, knocked him out. And then, you know, obviously people are saying, but it's Zombie, which is fair. But then he goes and does the same thing to Gaethje. And it's like,
Gaethje.
okay, wait a minute. This is Justin Gaethje we're talking about. And I think to your point, you're saying he looks faster. I'm not sure if he actually, like, you know what I mean, just went in there and looked more crisp, or if it's because it's a bigger weight. As good of a striker as Gaethje is, not as quick, I would say, as a Volkanovski, you know what I mean? Because when Max was in there with Volk, you know what I mean, was looking a little too quick for Max at times in that trilogy, whereas Max, you know what I mean, was the one getting in and out on Justin.
And I think the weight cut plays into both sides of that. He's on the recent Rogan, he says he walks around like 180 or 175 to 180. So that means he's cutting close to 30 something pounds to get down to 145. And obviously when you're younger, you know, that's easy, but to the point we just said, he's now getting into his middle 30s, you know. Shit takes a toll on you. I just think he doesn't have that power at 45, you know. He didn't knock anyone out. He just pieced them the fuck up. He knocked out the highlight. He made a highlight out of the highlight.
Yeah, dude. I wonder. So one thing I definitely did notice, and I saw there were people talking about this online for sure. He seemed to be like sitting on his punches a little bit more, like throwing more power punches. Where in most of his fights at 45, he's just touching them, right?
Touch
and you
and
can
move.
you can see he's, you know what I mean, he's just throwing punches just to throw them or just to touch them. Whereas in this Gaethje fight, almost not every single punch, but he's throwing those punches to hurt him. You know what I mean? As opposed to just throw the jab to set up the body shots later. You know, usually Max, you know, in his prime performances, Ortega, Cater, he's thrown 400, 500 strikes. Gaethje didn't throw that many strikes, but he's, you know what I mean, he's throwing significant strikes. Everything he's throwing was throwing bombs, you know?
Nah, but Max is that dude, man. I really respect what he did. I feel like him versus Volk, I think they just stylistically, that's just like a matchup for him. It's a little harder. I feel like Max isn't made to be fighting these short dudes.
I mean, I think there's definitely something to, obviously, stylistically, you know, Volk got him, but that second fight, that's why it's just such a pain, because
First and second were close as fuck.
The-
but the third, Alex
yeah,
made it.
he smoked. Yeah, he smoked him. But even the first fight, I think, was it was close, but like Alex won the first fight. Second fight, Max will beat him, dude. Max won rounds 1, 2, and 3, and I know obviously what the scores are out there, and I know why they say it is, and that fight is the reason that going forward, I feel like we've all been on opposing sides of how scoring works. Because before then, I was inclined to agree with you guys, but then I watched them fucking take that fight away from Max Holloway, and I'm like, nah, dude, that's not how clearly that's not how the scoring works because he knocked him down. I'm pretty sure in round 3, and then Volk like got a takedown and like sat
The
on him
last
for a
second.
bit, like literally right at the end of the round, like didn't do anything with it, but because he got the takedown, they gave him the round when Max fucking sat him down.
If they're close enough,
Sorry.
I don't
Yeah, they're
know.
just
No,
gonna
I'm
go for
telling
one
you, if
higher
that
Yeah.
fight happens again today, that same fight, like change the names, doesn't matter. Based on the way the scoring is today, I'm telling you, Holly wins. Based on the O'Malley
judging's
Yan
weird.
scoring, yeah, it's just fucking trash.
Yeah, they need to fix that bullshit.
They wanted O'Malley
What I love
to win.
most about this fight is what it opens up for Max. Like he has so many possibilities right now. He can go down and fight Ilya Taporia for the 145 belt again. He can go. Imagine he wins the 145 belt, and then even Poirier wins, and then he has an amazing triple belt fight. He's got the BMF belt, the 145, and then he has a chance to take the fucking 50 or 55. That would be absurd.
Yeah.
And then you got Connor now coming back into play. So Connor
Yeah.
beats Chandler.
And
Max Holloway can get a payday with him because they got history.
And they're talking about making a whole fucking division for Connor. I mean, the closer
165.
we get, the less,
Wait, hold
realistic.
on. What is this? I don't.
DC has been talking about
I feel
it.
like it's less, realistic as we get there, but even DC, so I feel like it was just kind of online talk, but even now, even DC has come out and acknowledged that they should or might create a 165-pound division.
Because
Well,
it's
I
a
mean,
big gap. That's
yeah.
the biggest
Yeah.
gap
Between
besides
55 and
heavyweight
70.
No,
I mean, it does make
makes
sense,
Like,
but-
why does it go 125, 135, 145, 155, 170?
No, it definitely makes sense. So they're talking about they before McGregor and Chandler was officially announced, they were talking about, hey, let's make that fight the inaugural 165-pound
It'll be for a
champion,
belt.
so that way McGregor fights for a belt in his.
So which
fight back.
which one of these 170 guys you think are going to come down and give McGregor a real problem
Leon.
hypothetically if
Let's
that
see,
happens?
it's not
Leon
even
and
170.
Conor would be
These
good.
motherfuckers are closer to 200 who are coming down.
But I
Like,
feel
from
like
that
I feel like there's
division-
going to be some of them from the division
It's-
who's going to come down. Like I feel like Leon could probably make 65.
It's really, I think, about opening a world for guys that are just killing themselves to get to 55. If you think about, like, I mean, Islam obviously is making it, but as he gets a little bit older, like the 65 would just be so much more, how much more.
He'll probably do-
How much more comfortable is it to fight at 65?
If he gets
I
double
agree.
champ
55.
and then does it, makes
I
sense.
agree in terms of like the business aspect, but like it also like 155 division has always been the dogs. And then you add
Yeah.
in this new division to where these people, it's gonna water down that division. People are gonna either stop going down and go there, or the people down there are gonna start going up to 165. So it's like it's gonna change how that division is looked at as a whole.
I think it will.
Definitely.
It definitely will, because you're gonna, people that have been ranked amongst the lightweights for a long time will now just be catchweights or whatever whatever the fuck they want to call it if they end up doing something. But if you also, think about how good the lightweight division is, the guys that are ranked 8, 9, 10 that realistically won't really fight for a belt, water it down a little bit to where now some of those guys are getting high profile fights at 65, and it's like, hey, more exciting fights for everyone. But obviously we're living in fantasy land here. But
Well,
Or
I don't
you
know,
got,
you're
like-
making it seem like it could be a possibility. You said DC's talking about it,
You got Yuri who could fight at 165 then. You know what I mean? Like he would demolish everyone in that division at 165. He's walked around at the light heavyweight.
Well, he was talking about, he was in
He didn't have to
interviews,
cut
he was
weight.
talking about he can go down to middleweight because he fights 205. You think he can go down to 65? He said he can make
It's 15
85.
more pounds.
He said he can
walked
make
around. He didn't cut any weight for his training camp. is what
He
said.
was talking about he could definitely fight at 85. So that is out there. But 65, if Yuri Prohaska makes 65, it's fuck everybody else that's going to that division. That's scary. I don't think that can happen.
Wait, what division does he usually fight in?
Light heavyweight. So 205.
Why would he go to 65?
It's
Blake's just talking
Yeah.
about hypothetical people.
people
that
cut 40
could cut that
pounds,
weight.
you know?
Oh, like who could potentially?
People cut 40 pounds right now to
But I
make
mean, why wouldn't he
divisions.
go to 170?
If he can cut 10 more pounds, why wouldn't he fight at 65 and demolish people?
True.
That's what I'm saying.
Got to get to 70
That's
first.
why I
though.
feel
Yeah.
like the gap
So
was
he-
there, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because
So
it's like it
he's-
separated the bigger guys between like the average big guys.
Got you.
But now you have this 65 division that people are even going to be able to weight bully down to if they can make that weight, you know?
I think this is gonna be more exciting
We going to find out.
because you got dudes who are already weight bullying in the different divisions. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I
You're
think-
just promoting it.
I think
more.
for me, it
You're
has.
creating another division that the bigger guys can get down to.
Yeah, you just for
That's
me,
why
if
the
you're
big
gonna
gap was
if you're
there.
gonna do it, you
Yeah.
have to change 70 to 75 and just make it
Since-
45, 55. Yeah, just because it makes no sense to have a 65 and a 170. That's silly. So I don't really care for that. But if you go,
doesn't
I'll
it go
all
from
in on the
70
changing.
for 285?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, that makes sense. And it's not like so. What's boxing? Don't they have like
Boxing's like
stupid
every
division?
3 or 4
Yeah, it's
pounds,
crazy.
dude. It's fucking crazy. And respect to
That's
Devin
too
Han-
watered
Devin
down,
Haney
you
and
know?
Garcia,
Yeah.
who still fought even though Ryan missed weight. But yeah,
Strategically.
people will sit there and bitch over a contract over literally like 2 pounds. Like, come on, dude,
Well,
get the
that
fuck out of here.
they should do what he did. You know, they should have to pay.
most
when
places
when they
do.
lose half their not in the UFC keeps it.
Oh, they keep it.
Yeah,
I mean,
they
I'm
not-
should give it to the fighter, especially if they decide to still fight this dude. You know,
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not-
contractually
yeah.
agreed to make this weight, and you did
definitely,
not.
and I'm by no means advocating for like fighters missing weight. Like, I think that's super unprofessional. But the idea of you touting yourself as like, yo, I'm the fucking biggest baddest in the world, and then being like, nah, but you're 2 pounds too heavy. Like, I'm not trying to fight you because you're a little bit out of my weight class. Like,
So how much?
I don't
how-
think both of those things can exist at the same
How
time.
much can someone miss weight and then their opponent be like, I don't even want to run it? Like, how heavy do you think that could be before you're like, fuck that?
I mean, it definitely depends on the stage, like what's at risk in the fight. Again, I mean, missing weight.
Well, if
I
you
think
miss
at
your
the
weight
de-
for a belt, you can't lose the belt. It's just a
yeah,
fight.
I'm more so talking about before fights happen. Like, once a fighter has missed weight, I think really there's so many things that are at play. So many factors. But I'm more so from a matchmaking aspect.
Yeah.
Of like,
Okay.
I'm the best, but this guy, I'm not going to fight this guy because he's a little bit.
But what are
too
your
big for me.
thoughts on that? On like you guys showed up to weigh-ins and homie just did not make weight. How many pounds over do you think they can be before the other dude could just be like, I don't even want to fucking fight this dude. Like, he didn't make weight. Like when who did that? Wonder Boy. Who didn't
Yeah.
make weight for Wonder Boy?
I don't remember.
But Wonder Boy didn't
That's
want
a shame.
to. The fight got called off because he was like he didn't make weight. Like, but I don't know how many pounds it was.
The only reason why I'm okay with that is because of what these dudes go through for the cut.
To
It's like,
make weight.
like this thing with Ryan, like that shit was probably strategic. You know, he's like, even if he knew he could make the weight, he's like, let me conserve this energy. I'll pay him 1.5. He bet $2 million on himself to win and won 12.
I didn't even
That-
know that was allowed.
I didn't know
Yeah,
either in
only
boxing.
yeah, it's
yeah.
a boxing thing. Yeah.
He said, "Fuck that. I know I'm gonna win this fight. I'm overjuiced. I didn't have to beat myself down to make this weight, and I'm gonna throw the bet on myself to make it back. You know.
See,
So it's like you have that thing where the line should be a line for a reason. You know, you sign the contract to make this weight. I understand the UFC guys want to still put on the show. They went through this entire camp. They still want to get paid. I don't know how that works. If they get paid if they don't fight, probably don't.
I don't think
you
they
know?
paid him. Yeah,
No.
I remember them making a big deal.
I don't
about it.
think he got his show money, which I think is low key kind of fucked up. I think he should have at least got his show money.
I think you should get show money the second you hit the weight.
Yeah,
it's, you know,
100%.
and it's good. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a little different for you're talking about. He paid him the bread. UFC fighters, they're fighting for fucking 20 grand. Ryan Garcia's over here fighting for 30 something million just
made
to fight.
50 million.
He made 50. Yeah, he made 50 total. But just a fight, he's making 30 something. Whereas these
That's
UFC guys are
fucking nuts.
risking.
Well, it'd be relative. You know,
You're
he's not going to pay
yeah,
him
fucking-
1.5.
Yeah, no, I know.
It's their
Yeah,
entire
no, I know.
career, but-
But it's how much is that? What is that number where you're taking out of the pocket? Because you're right though. It's definitely sketchy when they still agree to put the fight on, and they do dock the fighter's pay that missed the weight, but they don't hook up the dude that
Yeah.
fucking is still taking the fight.
They should definitely at least give him like they should do it how they do it in boxing. That makes way more sense.
Yeah.
That's the
Well, the
pay
thing is,
discrepancy is insane.
I heard he had to pay Devin Haney, and he also had to pay the commission.
Yeah.
well,
So he's
he
out,
paid
like-
Haney because they made a bet at the press. That wasn't like a boxing rule. Like I'm sure he forfeited. Like I'm sure what happened is he forfeited some of his contract money for being overweight. But him and Devin made a bet for every pound he's overweight, he'd give him $500,000.
Oh, that was just like a
That,
personal
literally,
bet they
yeah,
had.
yeah. So like literally at the press conference, they were talking shit, and yeah, it was like something that happened. And apparently Ryan's dad was like trying to get him to like not, because obviously he was heavy, and they knew he was heavy.
see
he
it-
was trying to make him not do it, but yeah, he just bet him, and so he
I
paid him.
respect it.
Yeah, but he paid him.
You see the size difference he was in this fight versus him versus Tank
In the
Davis?
Tank? Yeah.
He looked like a little kid. He was so small.
Similar to
comparison.
Max, almost like similar to Max at 45
Yeah.
versus 55. Like he just looked so big.
That left hook, quick.
Facts.
Yeah, he hurt him round one, dude.
Well,
hurt him
he was
round
also
one.
he was also hurt, but in that Tank fight, he said that his rib was already fucked up from
Yeah, he
a
got
sparring
He
injury.
got outclassed though. We watched that one together, didn't
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, saying stuff like that after, I feel like that shit always comes out.
Everyone's
You know
doing
what I
that
mean?
these
Everyone's
days,
got
too.
something going on after.
But
you know?
yeah, I mean, realistically though, if you got something going on before, you're not gonna talk about it. Like you're
You
not
shouldn't.
gonna. So it's like, yeah, but I mean, it is fighting, bro. Like everyone's always injured. Like you're training to hurt one another. Like accidents are gonna happen. You're gonna zip when you should have zapped. You're gonna get caught with something. So
yeah,
like,
I think it's just the way you go about it. Like, there's a way to be like, oh yeah, like dude, I fucked up. Like Pereira, like not to, I mean, listen, man, I can be biased. I'll admit it, I'll be biased sometimes. But like Pereira broke his toe, and I think it maybe because he won the fight, but they weren't making it a huge deal. Whereas these guys lose a fight and they're like, oh well, I had this, this, and this, and that's
a
the
broken
reason that
toe
I
versus a
didn't do this.
broken rib, though. That's
Yeah, no, I'm not, trying to directly equate the two, but people are like, I had, like, what was it? Garbrandt said he had fucking vertigo. Look, man, I'm sorry. If you, to anyone out there that has suffered serious cases of vertigo, like, I sympathize with you, I guess, but like that's stretching.
In
it
a
for
fight,
me.
though, that's crazy because you can't even stand. You don't have any balance whatsoever. So if you can't get up on the takedown or whatever it is, that's going to dramatically affect the fight. I didn't even know he had that, if that was the shit he was saying.
Yeah, that's what he said. But it's just like
saw
everyone
him
that everyone that
get choked out,
loses a
though.
fight, it's like, dude,
Well-
it's okay for you to lose. Like it's okay that this guy's also a professional and he also trains at a high level. Like
With-
it's okay that you lost.
with Tank and Ryan, there was supposedly Tank had spies, people in Ryan's gym or whatever, telling him like what was going on.
Yeah.
And I could be wrong, but I think like Tank alluded to like, nah, we know what's going
Yeah,
on.
no,
like-
I remember hearing all that.
so that's a little. I say that's a little sussy.
They pulled the Floyd Canelo on him. They just drained him down,
Mm-hmm.
They do that fight at that weight, Tank's getting knocked
Yeah.
out.
Yeah,
I
that fight
think
is
so,
definitely
too.
on now.
But I
though.
mean, I don't
Now
think
that-
they're the
now
same
that
weight
this
class
Ryan
though.
Haney-
That's the thing. Like I
no,
get
Ryan's
it.
bigger than him.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
both
Ryan's
stars.
40 different weight classes,
But that's my whole thing about this whole, like, that's really like that's a great example. They're talking about, they're arguing over who's better. Like, dude, just go. Why can't they just both be healthy at a training? Like, dude, your full training camp. And if this dude is 7 pounds heavier, who the fuck cares? He's at 100%. You're at 100%. Let's see who's the fucking best.
I think it
And I get
matters because
it definitely
of
matters.
how much did you cut? Did you cut 5 pounds and he cut
It
20 pounds and he's still 7 pounds heavier? Like
weight classes matter for a reason, for sure. I'm not trying to say they don't, but in this case where it's like, especially these two dudes and one guy, again, it's not like he's 30. I don't believe personally, maybe he is, but I don't think he's like 30 pounds naturally heavier. I don't think he's that big. Like he's a little bit bigger than him, but it's not like he's 50 pounds heavier and like obviously he'll fucking beat him. It's not David and Goliath over here. Like they're relatively the same size, bro. Get in there and fucking fight.
no, I feel that, but I also just feel like these dudes just aren't in the same weight class. I feel like Devin Haney is probably like the catch weight between them both, but I feel like Ryan and Tank they're just not in the same weight class when they're both in shape.
I agree with you, and that's why I'm like the whole, like, you're talking about draining him down. It's just silly. It's like if you guys want to fight, why just fucking fight him? Instead, you're forcing him to get all the
You're
way
fighting
down.
him with one
you're fighting
leg,
you're
you
fighting
know?
a skeleton.
Yeah.
You're fighting the
But
ghost of Ryan
I guess
Garcia.
I guess it depends on who wants to fight more, right? Because like, say for example, if you're a 55er and you wanna go fight the dude who's top shit at 45, like you got to go to his weight class.
See, and the problem is it's because it's boxing. UFC, we don't have that issue because everyone has their own division. Like sometimes you'll see fighters move around, but you don't have to chase a money fight. You know what I mean? There's no other fight for both of those guys that was going to pay them like that, you know, out there for them. So for Ryan, what other option do you have than to drain all that weight to take the Tank fight? You know what I mean? Because what else are you going to do? Fight some fucking schmuck and make
He had been
make a
fighting
quarter.
schmucks. You know, that was the
of what
first
you're gonna
real
make there?
person he fought.
You know
with
what I
a name.
mean? So again, like, you know what I mean? You're saying he has to go down, but I don't know. Again, I'm not trying to say that like you should jump in there with a fucking heavyweight and like show your skills, dude. But like, come on, they're not that far off. Like, Ryan's not that big of a dude where Tank should be sitting here crying about fucking rehydration clauses. Like I think that's lame.
well,
Rehydration clause
That's, you know what I
alone
mean?
is
That's
what's
what I'm
fucked.
saying. Like, I don't know how much
rehydration is sus. But what weight class did they fight at last time? Was it 35?
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah, so I don't know the exact numbers.
I don't remember if it was
in
30
the
or
30s.
35.
It was the 30s for
But,
sure.
And then Ryan didn't make 45 this time.
I think it was like 44 and he was like 47 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like 3 pounds. Yeah.
So it
Something like
depends.
that.
If Tank is fighting 130, 135,
But
and
he's
then
short as fuck. He's a
Ryan's not
short
even
dude.
making 145, then it's just like it's like you're saying you're chasing a money fight, but realistically, like these guys aren't supposed to be fighting.
But it's
But
I
then
don't, I
you
just
look
don't
at the
think
build at
35
Tank,
versus
and like
45 is
Tank
that.
is short and muscular too. You know, he could be well around 150. You know, their walking around weight could be relatively the same.
That I feel like his walking around weight though is just not him in shape. Like him not dieting or whatever. Like I feel like when you're short, it's easy to get a little bulky. But I feel like when he's in shape, when he's dialed in, he's probably not that heavy.
I don't think he's that light though. Like he's probably like low. I mean, because he's like you said, he's a strong dude.
But he's not like super jacked. But
not
he's
super
he's
jacked, but
strong.
he's not skinny. Like a lot of these boxers are like real slender. You know what I mean? Their like shoulders are really defined. Like he's they call him Tank for a fucking reason, dude.
And how tall is he?
Short.
Short. very
That's the
short.
thing. Like Ryan's not tall either, but Ryan's like Tank's like under 5'5" or 5'5", you know, around there.
Yeah.
Maybe even shorter than that. Whereas Ryan is like 5'8", 9", you know.
Yeah. I mean, hey, Ryan signed the contract, you know what I'm saying? I don't think Tank's in the wrong for telling him like, if you want to fight me, like come to my weight class.
Nah,
And,
but
and
it was come to my weight class and you can't rehydrate past this. And now it's like, look,
And it's
we
also
fucking-
I'm not going to come to your weight
No,
class.
rehydration.
You know?
Rehydration
Yeah.
is. I don't agree with rehydration. I don't think that Tank should automatically just have to fight up, but I do think that the whole rehydration clause is sus. I think if you make the weight, you make the weight, and then if you guys are fighting 24 hours afterwards, like let it be that.
Yeah, well, they're gonna have to fight again now because, dude, these Gen Zers, everything is, what have you done for me lately? And even though Tank put on such a good performance against him because of what Ryan just did to Devin, people are gonna want to see that fight, and people are gonna want to see it at a bigger weight class because of that. And dude, sign me up. I will fucking watch that for sure.
You think Tank takes the bait and does it?
I mean, I don't know, and it's funny. It's a whole tangent, and because they're so rich already. These guys have so much money. He doesn't need to at all. He could sit there,
Not
and it
at
really
all.
is about who he is as a person.
Like, he would just be doing that favor for Ryan, basically, just
I mean,
giving Ryan upside because Tank has.
Well, it's like,
Ryan
nah,
has
who
but
has the
if
upside
you
now,
really
you
you
know?
really think you're the best, like if you're a true competitor and like you give a shit about what you do, he will want to take that fight so that he's gonna, so there's no questions because of Ryan beat Devin, there's people out there that are gonna chirp, hey, fight him again at this weight, and now there's naysayers, right? So if you care about your craft, he would take that fight and squash that and be like, nah, dude, I'm gonna fucking beat him again. But he's so rich that he doesn't have to. So if he doesn't really care, he doesn't need to.
I mean,
go
if
take
he's
that
taking
fight.
a page out of the Floyd handbook, like Floyd didn't go fight fucking Canelo again. He's like, nah, I beat him. I'm past that. It's really how
But
he plays it.
He also doesn't have Floyd in his corner anymore.
And
but I mean,
Floyd,
I'm just
and
talking
Floyd
about
was
the handbook.
old.
Yeah, but
like
the
Floyd was
whole
old
reason
and
that
Canelo
he
was young. These guys are
drained
both in
Ryan-
their prime. Like they're young. They're both young guys.
Floyd is the reason he drained Ryan. He pulled the same fucking page out of the book that he did with Canelo, you know?
Mhm.
Without that knowledge in his corner, I don't think Tank succeeds the way he has.
You don't think that there's someone in his corner that could like replicate just the because like
No, not the
you think
knowledge and stuff that he
you
has
think
as
it's
a business.
Floyd's knowledge, or do you think there
Yeah.
was just someone? You think Floyd was calling those shots?
100%.
Dude,
In the
there's
Money Mayweather gym. Yes.
to reach the level of greatness that someone like Floyd
He's a
has.
fucking
It takes
businessman, bro.
it takes the whole package, and like yeah, dude, I don't doubt for a second, yeah, that he's the intangibles, like just a wealth of knowledge
But how do you control?
about how to do all that shit.
How can you can't control when motherfuckers like Ryan just pull up and say, "I'm not making weight. Fuck it, I'm heavy." Like what are
No,
we
you
gonna
can't.
do
But he
about
wouldn't.
it?
They wouldn't fight. You know what I mean?
Has there been fights where Floyd was like, "Nah, bro, didn't make weight. We're not doing a fight."
I don't know.
I don't
boxing
know his
history
exact
like that.
history like that, but I'm sure if it was that high of stakes like this fight, he
Contract
wouldn't have
probably
taken it.
crazy.
And you
Sure
got to
wouldn't take it.
understand,
Contract probably crazy.
Floyd knew what the power of the A side is in boxing, and he was always the A side.
Yeah.
And that's why they were able to negotiate those things with Ryan. You know, you want this money, you're gonna come do these things for it. You know, and I'm gonna control all the deciding factors. You're not gonna rehydrate, but I'll pay you.
Yeah, man. I don't know. It's kind of like I understand how it could be like an unfair advantage, but I kind of like it's like it's war. You know, all's fair in war.
But that's kind of where I'm coming from, and that's why I'm like, dude, that's why who cares about 4 pounds when like you're relatively the same size?
You're thinking about
I
being a
don't know, man.
warrior though,
Just fucking.
and they're
do
thinking.
it.
I'm thinking
I
like
just
they're
hate
like
it
we're gonna
because
win the
boxing,
war.
Yeah,
I
like,
don't
if you're
know.
gonna-
it's more so about boxing.
If you're gonna
I got
chirp
a
at
gripe.
each other, like
Yeah.
you
That's the
started
thing.
this
That's the
yourself.
thing.
You know,
Like-
like settle it.
So who? All right. So that's another thing. Who started the chirping really with Ryan and Tank?
I don't know. I don't because I feel like Ryan wasn't really one to be like. I feel like that fight is what made him become what people know him as now. Like obviously people were thinking he was going crazy and shit in the build up of this Haney fight.
Played everybody.
Played everybody is right, dude. That shit was crazy. But I feel like he wasn't like that, so I'm not exactly sure who was talking. I feel like it might have been fans.
This is
or
what I think. I think he said he's playing everybody, but I have two thoughts about that. One, I know he's going through a divorce, has custody issues. I feel like he could really be hurting, going through some shit. Two, if he is playing everybody, I feel like he shouldn't have showed his hands right after the first time he did it. I feel like he should have had a couple fights as the crazy guy or
I don't
whatever
know.
before being like, nah, I was just fucking around. He should have fought Tank again on the same bullshit, on the same like, yeah,
I don't know
blah,
though
blah, blah.
because they were talking about stopping the fight. He was acting so crazy.
They had him take a mental.
People
health
were
evaluation.
literally calling for the fight to be called off because he was acting so crazy. I
But
don't,
if
I
he
don't
was,
think
if
he
he
could
was,
keep going.
if
like
he was
that.
fucking around, then he knows. Okay, when they go do their mental health evaluations, he's not actually crazy, so he should pass the evaluation. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying if I was in that position playing crazy, like I'm not gonna do it once and then be like, okay, that was just I
Dude,
did it this one time.
I don't know,
the people
though.
who did that shit, like they kept that shit going.
He'll never have a bigger fight though. Like it was such a big state. He was a huge. You don't understand how much money was
Yeah.
won
And coming
lost.
off a loss.
Huge
Yeah.
underdog. Like Devin Haney was somebody bet $250,000 on Devin Haney just to win straight up. Like no, just money line. Devin Haney, 250 grand. I think they were gonna win. I don't remember exactly, dude. It was nothing. It was like 6,000, something like that, dude. It was minus like 1,300, and he lost. It's terrible, fucking terrible. So no, I think for Ryan is literally the opportunity of a lifetime to pull off the biggest heist of ever. And then there's like videos of him FaceTiming people, you know what I mean, like getting him on the phone, and he just seems totally normal. Like it's so funny.
He was on
dude.
the podcast where I think it was Nelk.
So
totally
funny.
normal.
He was tripping
Yeah.
on the Bobby Altoff podcast. That one chick who be
See, but I think he
podcasting
did that
people.
shit for show. You know what I mean, like for show and clicks.
That-
But then the behind the scenes, like when he's just talking to his his friend or whatever, he's fucking normal.
Did you guys see that Bobby Altoff podcast? Bro, it literally looked like it was behind the scenes. Like it started with her being like, we've been trying to film for an hour and you just keep fucking off. And then he's like, should we start over? And she's like, no. It was like only like a 25-minute thing. And she's like, I just hope we have something we could fucking use. And he was just like, it was like he had the maturity of like a 6-year-old for like 25 minutes just talking to her and like goofing off and doing silly shit.
Getting
I
it
don't know,
staged.
bro. I think I part of me doesn't think it's staged. A part of me feels like he said it afterwards, like, "Oh no, I'm just I was playing around." But I think like he's actually going through some shit because of his divorce, his whole kid thing, and now he's always posting things like, "I got so many girls, it's fucking crazy." I think he's like just going through shit, and it's fucking him up.
Hey, well, he won the fucking fight of his life
Yeah.
while he was going through
And
shit.
then
if
to your
that's the
point, it's
case.
not gonna help him.
Yeah, I don't. He won the fight of his life. I think he went out there on some fuck it shit, but I think maybe it's better. Honestly, yeah. Overall, probably it's good that he won it. If he gets on his shit, if he gets on the right path, I feel like he's straight. Takes some time off. I don't know, but I think he's actually like falling off the deep end. I don't think it's a facade. Because if it was a facade, I feel like he'd be smart enough to know like I'm not gonna show all my cards right now. I'm gonna let that shit like.
What if he just has another stick?
So then, but then you just know he's the shtick guy. You just know every time he's fighting, this isn't real.
But if you
It's not
don't
a
know
bad
what
place
is
to be.
real,
Yeah,
then
it's
you
not a
don't know
bad
what
place
to
to be.
expect.
I feel like if he's smart enough to like think about, okay, I'm gonna like mislead these people. He's smart enough to think about like the long game. Like he's not thinking. If he is thinking, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's thinking I'm just gonna do this for this fight, and I'm just gonna cash out, and then whatever. But I'm like, I don't know.
I think
If he was trying to make some real money,
I think it's like a combination of both. I'm sure he didn't like have a fucking whole elaborate plan at first. I'm sure he was like just not taking his camp super serious, like getting drunk. And I'm sure he like posted some shit when he was drunk, and then maybe people started saying he was crazy, and then maybe he leaned into it. You know what I mean? And like, I mean, he said he was a functioning alcoholic. I think is like what he said. So like, you know, you could still be drinking and smoking or doing whatever, and so maybe like during those times could just take to the internet and start fucking off.
yeah, train
But
hard.
It was the
party
beer.
hard.
It's funny because it was the beer on the beer on the way in is what really set it off for me. I'm like, there's no fucking way this dude slammed a beer on the way in. He said
Air
it was like
quotes on
apple
the
juice.
beer?
Yeah, because he said it was there's a video of him saying
Apple
it's
cider and
apple
apple
cider
juice.
or whatever. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, dude, it's so funny. Oh my
That's
God.
pretty
Yeah,
sick.
Jake Paul FaceTime.
But that's what I'm saying, bro. That's so sick. It's like, why would you give that shtick up right away?
Dude, because he literally made so much money off of it. How much more do you want
And
him
it's
to
not
do?
even necessarily that he gave it away. It's just people coming to this conclusion because he won the fight.
No, I saw him say straight up, like, nah, I was fucking around. Like, I just
He had
wanted
been
him to
saying
think I
it the
was
entire
crazy.
time people were accusing him. He said, I'm fine, I'm normal, the whole time. He never once said, oh, I'm going crazy,
Well-
I'm doing this,
well,
I'm doing
he
that.
said-
His actions is what led people to believe that.
Well, this is what I mean, because he was like, no, I'm fine. But then he was like, nah, I was literally sitting there on the interview going, so people would think that I'm off coke. Like, he was like, I wanted them to think that. And I'm like, if he's thinking that deeply into it, why are you playing such a
Dude,
short game?
because he
he
bet on
realizes the
himself.
mind of the people who watched. They believe everything, so why would he not be able to do it again? They believed it the first time, even when he said he wasn't crazy during.
So when he does it the next time, they're going to be like, oh, he's just playing around again. And he's like, am I?
there's going to be people who are going to believe him because they're fucking
Yeah,
dumb.
you just start tweaking at the fucking conference.
So
I
what
saw
do you
some
think? Do you
statistic-
think he's actually fucked
I
up?
think he's fine.
You think he's fine?
Sure, he's going through divorce.
I think it's somewhere in the middle.
Who
Yeah, yeah.
won't that
Yeah,
affect,
yeah.
you know? He's smoking, he's drinking. Sure, he's going through some mental stuff. Is it to the state that what
Yeah.
people are portraying?
Yeah,
No, not at all.
Exactly. I agree. Yeah,
So
people
you
talking
think
about
you think it's like
schizophrenic
in
and
the
shit.
middle?
Yeah, like you know what I mean. He has problems like any normal person has problems, but you know they're him being like a certifiably crazy person that was like off the rail on drugs and about to get put in the ring, like killed in the people are talking about getting like killed in the ring.
He was saying some insane stuff. He was saying the kids thing was weird when he said all that stuff was going on with the kids.
Yes, for sure, and that's part of the whole thing.
You-
You
like-
know, he wouldn't leave it alone. And
But
it's
he's
like,
still
what is-
on that shtick. He hasn't let it go.
He
He
has
said
it.
that in
Yeah,
his
yeah, he
fight
has it.
interview.
What did he see? Like that's what I'm
Something
saying.
at the Bohemian Grove.
What? What does
Dude,
this even
it's
mean?
something for rich people. It's just something for rich. Basically, he's rich enough that some high enough people showed him some shit. I guess.
And they're not gonna try to get him out of here. They're not gonna like he said too much,
Well, how do you just get rid of somebody, especially with that much clout?
bro. He gets a DUI. Something happens.
He probably
in
doesn't
jail.
even drive a car.
Yeah, I don't know. Man.
I don't know. It depends
I'm
on
not-
how fine he really is.
I don't
you
really know how much of that is true, isn't true, but I feel like it's been spoken of enough by other like influential people too that there's definitely something to it. Whether or not they're like taking fucking blood from kids and shit, I don't know how deep it.
Adrenochrome.
I don't know how deep it goes, but clearly something kind of culty is occurring there.
Taking blood from kids is next level.
Some vampire shit, dude.
You think that shit works? Keep you young?
I've tried it.
Yeah.
kidding.
I mean, you look young.
Thanks.
You're aging well.
Blake's like, bet you guys didn't know I was 86, huh?
I'm on my 6th life, bitch.
Yo, all right. So we're talking about all this fight shit, but I don't want to get past the Alex Jamal Hill little incident. Where Herb Dean stepped in for a second, and then Alex was the official ref. He said, "Get the fuck out of here, bro." That was kind of crazy. It was sick, but like after Jamal said what he said, I'm like looking back, I'm like,
There's a
I
point
can hear
there.
it. I hear where you're coming from.
Not only that, but like Alex continued to close the distance as he did that, and you have Herb to the left of him. The
Yeah.
cage is behind him. He's cutting off an angle, and his only option is to go left where Herb
Or
is,
run right into
right
that
to him,
fucking,
which is
Yeah.
his goal is to keep space,
yeah.
And it's like the first rule the ref says to you is protect yourself at all costs.
Yeah.
The second one they say is obey my commands or something like that. So it's like, yes, he didn't follow rule number 1, but like rule number 2 is like you're supposed to be the guy saying these commands. If you cause a break in the action, you need to separate, get the space back, and then all right,
Start
let's
it over,
fight.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like I understood how it happened and why it happened in the moment, but like in retrospect, I feel like I don't know. I think Alex Pereira just got too much stain on this situation. You know what I mean? Like he really told the ref like, nah, like.
Dude, just the way it all unfolded.
He brushed him
was
to the
epic.
side,
Yeah,
bro.
he literally
I've never
told him.
seen that in a
And
fight
the thing,
ever.
And
I've
the
never
thing
seen
is,
a ref
he
try.
caught the cup so clean, like you could tell, like right away. It was like, oh, nut shot. You know what I
And-
mean?
and
You
he
could hear it.
immediately
It's actually
reacted to
above
it.
though. It was if you see a replay, it's a high clip shot.
Is
It's
it?
above the cup.
Yeah.
But it was Alex's reaction to kind of like, oh, you like hit me in the nuts, kind of, and then Herb started setting in, and he was like, nah, it's good.
But if a ref breaks action, no one should be
Yeah.
able to resume besides the ref.
That's what
you
that's
know?
what I'm saying.
It was badass. I mean, like I was like, oh shit, like
Yeah.
it's over. You
Hit
know?
him with a truck right after that.
Yeah.
In the moment. It was like, nah, that's crazy. But yeah, like you were saying, I think that he should have been like, nah, let's really.
They gotta
separate
fix
it.
this whole ref shit, bro. You know?
Bro, it's like you're reffing a fucking fight. I get it. I get why it's so like.
But there
hard.
needs to be definites.
Yeah,
You know?
I
And
think
there's not-
the ref separating it should definitely be definite. But what are they gonna do? They're not gonna go back and. I mean, maybe they'll say you guys could run it back. I don't think
Nah,
that
he'll have to
changes.
go have a dominant win.
Yeah,
before that
no
happens.
way.
I think so who's he fighting next?
In 2
Khalil
months.
Roundtree.
I don't think he should be fighting in 2 months.
No.
I think. I mean,
got
Well, he
put
didn't
out
get put
twice.
out though. Well, he
Twice.
didn't get put out.
His eyes rolled back. He went temporarily unconscious, you know?
The way he got dropped. Because, all right, I've been dropped before, and like a lot of times you get dropped, and a part of it is like your footing is just really bad. But the way he got dropped was like that shot put him down.
Oh,
But it's
yeah.
also when Alex threw that shot, he did an old boxing move where he stepped on his foot so he couldn't move.
Mm-hmm.
So it could have a lot to do with it. But the way he fell, like, he lost some
You
confidence.
think that
Punch
shit was
wasn't
on
even
perfect?
clean.
Oh, on purpose?
The step? No,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think so. You think it was on purpose?
He's a boxer. He comes from glory
Hey,
kickboxing.
if it was,
I
if it
guarantee
was, it
you
was.
that shit was on purpose.
A
If
part
it
of me
was,
feels
it
like it
was.
could be, but another part of me feels like whenever
I mean, it's not illegal, is
whenever
it?
I'm fighting
Usman
like
used to
fucking
stomp feet
Yeah,
for
I was gonna
days.
say. Yeah,
Yeah.
Usman used to be the
Yeah.
fucking
but
stomper, bro.
whenever I'm fighting southpaw people,
and it
like,
was
that
right
shit
at the
happens
gate.
a lot.
You know, it was perfect.
Like I'll step on feet, get my feet stepped on,
Mm-hmm.
and like that shit don't be on purpose, but it do be happening because we got the same lead foot,
Yeah.
and we're trying to get that outer foot battle, and it's just like right there, like that shit. And I feel like Alex Pereira got fucking skis. I feel like
Oh,
bro's
yeah.
got like
Yes, he
just
does.
big ass feet.
Probably, bro.
Paddles.
But Jamal said Jamal said he felt like he was winning that fight. I'm not saying I agree with that. I think that if it was just as far as touches, but I think as far as power, like you could really tell that Alex had more power. But he said he felt like he was winning the fight because he was maintaining the distance that he wanted. and he was like, at no point would he have ever let him get that close, but he just capitalized immediately off of that awkward interaction. And after he said that, and then, and you know, you look back and you're like, yeah, he really wasn't
I
letting
don't
himself
know,
get
though.
backed up.
I don't know. That's really being generous to Jamal. The leg kicks would have eaten up. Like you said, the power was very clear. Like Jamal touched him. Jamal definitely touched him, but it's wasn't really doing much. Whereas when Alex hit him, we saw what fucking happened when Alex hit him. You know what I mean? And I think if he even lasts another round or two taking leg kicks, how is Jamal's movement then? You know, and it's possible. There was always the possibility of Alex getting caught, but we've seen Alex go 5 rounds with Izzy, go 3 rounds with Jan Blachowicz. You know what I mean?
We've also seen Alex get knocked out.
Yeah, we have.
But
we have.
get at the lighter weight classes.
But I'm saying, so that's what I'm saying.
He's been hurt.
So that's what I'm trying to say is that there's obviously always the chance that he gets caught, but we know that he can go and last. And you know,
And I
Ken
would
Jamal.
say, in terms of Jamal, in the first round, he wasn't throwing.
He went long with Glover.
He was
but
finding the distance, which he was doing. He was learning where to find those shots. How do we know he wasn't just trying to bait him in and then throw the shot? You know, there was not enough information in that fight, I would say, to lean either way towards Jamal. Alex did what he needed to do in that fight. I just think the ref shit was, you know, it's a pickle in that.
Well, you just
for
hate for there to be any sort of cloud over any result. You know, you'd love for it to just be definitive.
And it's not between the fighters, you know.
Yeah.
It's on the ref. That, bruh, I feel like it's a harder job being a ref than like you probably imagine.
It's definitely a hard job. You have so much you got to be watching at all times. Like it, you know, I don't think anybody's saying it's easy. But what Blake is talking about is just having some definitive guideline.
No,
hey,
yeah.
look,
No,
this
I
is
think-
what's
And
happening.
Herb
This
of
is the
everyone,
I think
procedure.
no,
you know?
honestly, I think Herb should have really.
If it was Mark
stepped up.
Goddard, everyone would have been like, this fucking guy again. But you know what I mean?
Part of
Herb?
it is definitely because of who all's at play,
Yeah.
the stage.
That's what I mean.
If
He
that's
gave-
a lesser fighter telling you, no, I'm good, are they going to just take your word? Or are they going to be like, no,
That's what
bro,
I'm
are
saying,
we sure
bro.
you're good?
He
But
gave-
because it's fucking Poetan, like, nah, bro, like, get the fuck away from me.
He gave Alex
Like,
too
oh,
much
shit.
stain, bro. Like you can't, bro. You're the ref. Like it don't matter who this superstar is, bro. Like you're the ref, bro. If for any reason you started doing something, finish. You know, there's a protocol. You know what I'm saying? Like do the full thing.
It has happened before. I saw a clip of I believe it was a UFC fight, like back in the day, and they tried to stop the fight, and he said he was good. I think it was, it might have been Mighty Mouse or somebody. I mean, I could be wrong now that I'm fucking threw a name out there, but like it was somewhat recent, like someone that we definitely know.
But as
I think got cut checked. He didn't get knocked out right after, but like they went to stop it, and they called him off. Like the ref was going to do the same shit that Herb Dean did.
So
and-
he didn't.
And they did
Like,
not end up stopping the fight.
'cause
But he didn't get
Herb
finished.
Dean
He didn't get
didn't
finished
even-
like the way Jamal did. Right
Herb
away.
Dean didn't even fully get in between them. He just
No,
said
this guy
stop,
didn't
started
either.
walking.
Yeah, this guy didn't either.
Yeah, I don't know.
So it's like
and Alex
Jamal-
was walking in while Jamal
Right,
was
so
like,
Jamal
Can
has
we-
to continue
I want to
looking at
see that.
him.
I want to see the replay
Can't
though.
see
Did he
Herb.
actually take a step while
He
it was
like
stopped?
100%.
He was stepping in, but I know because you know what I mean. They were closing it, but like, was it while it was stopped? Did he?
No, yes.
Take position, did he?
Because when he told Herb to stop, it wasn't like he was just like stop, then moved. He was like moving
Moving,
while
yeah,
he
he
was
said
saying
stop.
stop.
Closing
Like
the distance.
Herb was walking in, and he was closing the distance, walking in. Jamal, his legs are straight, and he's like, "Are you good?" And then like
They did touch.
they did
Yeah.
touch.
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure they still touched.
did. But Jamal's body language was just, you know what I mean, very up and down. Whereas Alex literally touched and then
He
just
knew,
fucking
you know, he was certain.
threw it right in there. That shit was crazy. Not clean at
Not
all. Just
at
right
all.
in the smack in
Mouth
the middle
and
of the
nose,
face,
bro.
dude. Fuck.
That power is
Terrible.
crazy.
Dude, yeah. Oh, we were getting so lit.
It said he shattered Ngannou's record on the punch board.
Really?
190
Hey,
something
man.
thousand units or
Fucking
whatever.
brick hands, dude. Brick hands. Yeah, great fights. Shame that we
Yeah.
weren't all together, but, you know, bigger fish to fry.
For sure.
Bigger fish to fry. And there will be another one. There will be another banger. We got a McGregor card coming up here. We'll fucking enjoy that for sure during
I
the
can't
summer,
fucking
too.
wait for that.
What are your guys' thoughts on that fight?
Dude, I don't know. Because it's just been so long since either of them have fought, to be honest. I think it's hard to get like a real, genuine read on it. I'd love for McGregor to win, and I think my money would be on him to win, but I'm not putting it past Michael Chandler. Like, you know what I mean? We saw so many good performances from Chandler to be discrediting him.
This is not the best angle of it, but this is an angle. nevertheless.
I was like, that's not
Right?
it.
Look. So he gets kicked and acknowledges that he got kicked in the nuts. Right? So maybe it wasn't the exact
He
same
did kind of
time.
no. But if
You
you
need to
if
get
you
the
started
right
over, if you started over right there, he kind of
Yeah.
does that step.
And
right
if you
there.
look, Jamal Hill after that is just standing straight up. He has his thumbs up.
Yeah.
So
It's not super egregious though. It's a half step for sure. Like he closed some distance, but it's not like he fucking
and then where Herb was standing.
Yeah,
down
but with a
there.
guy you don't want
Yeah,
to
I
close
know.
distance.
And that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, for sure. For sure.
Not only distance, it's the angle he's
For
coming
me,
in. You can't
I think
see it right
I think
there,
it's
though.
more so about the whole nature of you think the fight is about to be stopped, so you let your guard down, and then now it's not stopped, and now you just chilled out, and now you got a fucking Mack truck coming at your face in 2 seconds.
You don't wanna do
That to me is more so where I sympathize with Jamal than the other spots. But yeah, I mean, look, if they run it back, I'm down for that because I was a little nervous going into that fight for sure. But yeah, Pereira is just there's no one else like him right now. It's a great feat, great show every time.
That power is crazy.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't see enough to really feel like they need to run it back, but also maybe they didn't. I don't know. That is a weird enough thing to where I would like to see it happen again, just so that Pereira doesn't have those what ifs. You know what I mean? Like I feel like he should be able to get that dub with no questions asked. But I do think that if they ran it back, he's getting that dub just from the power exchange in the first round. Like they were both landing body shots, and like it was like okay, these body shots they're not landing the same.
Yeah.
Like that power is different, bro. Because he didn't even hit him like clean. He didn't hit him flush at all. He swiped his fucking face.
Hit his mouth
Yeah.
and his nose.
That's
And
nuts,
the
bro.
the UFC agrees because like we said, Jamal has another fight booked already, so he's got work to do. I think it's definitely a fight we could see though because there's just not that many contenders, at those heavier weights, and because Jamal has that champion pedigree to his name already, he'll always be one of those names up there to fight Alex. But yeah, I don't think Alex is. I doubt Alex feels like he needs to fight him again. I mean, he fucking shut his lights out.
Yeah.
People can say, we can all speculate and, people can have their opinions, but I don't think Pereira's losing any sleep over what he may or may not, have gained an
His
advantage.
celebration was funny as fuck.
Bro, oh my God.
It was I heard it was calls at Izzy because Izzy was with that dude.
Yeah, Izzy
was
it's a
with that
TikToker.
dude.
Yeah, it's a TikToker. Yeah, and Izzy like
He
hangs out
shows
with
you
him.
how to do things easier.
Izzy
Yeah.
hangs out with him.
But
Yeah.
I don't think that was like I don't think that was a shot at Izzy. I feel like
It's just it
Alex
was like
is
a
just
move that
obsessed-
people know, and I think is more so that.
I think Alex
to
is
have
just Izzy's biggest fan. And like because Izzy's cool with that dude, Alex probably just started watching his shit and was like, "This guy's funny."
And yeah, dude, that shit was so funny though, bro. Because Alex like very rarely shows personality. He's just so stone faced, and so the fact that he literally just like oh,
That shit was
bro.
hilarious,
Bro,
bro.
crazy.
I bet you if the rematch happens, Jamal doesn't keep it on the feet.
He shouldn't. I mean, he shouldn't. What? How many fights is it going to take for these people to learn? Because Strickland did
Well,
the same shit, but it's everyone's like
Strickland doesn't go to the
I'm going to
ground.
stand on the feet. Yeah, but even if it wasn't your strength, his strength. That's the only way to beat him. You're not going to fucking beat him striking. And even if you wanted to try, Sean tried, lost. Jamal tried, lost. Yan wrestled him, and guess what? It was close. Some people thought Yan should have won that
You
fight.
got to think he's a crazy guy to just go for takedowns when his knees and stuff like that. Like you got to get close enough.
I'm not
to
saying
take
it's
him
easy,
down.
but you're not going to survive 25 minutes boxing him. No way.
And I feel like the only way you're gonna get those takedowns without getting kneed in the fucking face is to set it up with some striking.
You do. No, you do.
And he just be cleaning these guys up pretty
You
quick.
do, but you have to have the chin. Like I said, if you go back and watch the Jan Blachowicz fight, he's trading with him on the hands, and he's doing enough where he ate some big shots. That like the shot that put Jamal out, Jan ate shots heavier than that probably. So he did enough on the feet, but he was never gonna beat him. He was never gonna be beating him on the feet, but he held his ground, and then he got the threat of takedowns. And it was a close fight. He was laying on him for the first round, I think. Jan was laying on him, and it wasn't looking good for Alex. And then Alex, was able to do enough.
But
I can't believe they gave him a black belt.
That shit was funny, bro.
that was hilarious. That was absolutely.
Have you
like,
guys seen this
comedic
dude do
gold.
one grappling move in the entire
Nah.
UFC career?
I thought that was the best part about it.
I was like, what the fuck are we doing?
We caught that one in real
There's
time. We
people
were dying.
who have been practicing jiu-jitsu for 15 to 20 years and they haven't even touched a black belt.
I don't think he's ever even done a
He
jiu-jitsu
knocked-
competition.
He knocked someone out and he got his.
Hey,
Did Jamal have a black belt?
Deserved
I
it.
don't think so.
The only way it would have made a little sense is if Jamal had a black belt and he was like, you beat this many black belts, you could get your black belt. But like,
By way of
if Jamal wasn't a black belt, that was silly. And also like, if bro's never done a grappling competition, where I think bro could do a grappling competition and just off of like sheer power do pretty decently. Maybe not against black belts.
I mean, it's been a while since anybody's tried, but he looked pretty fucking confused when people tried to do the shit on the
Yeah.
ground with him.
Even
Izzy was.
it
pulling
was
him on
also
the ground
very
and
new. You know
fucking
what I
with
mean?
him,
He's
you
so
know?
new to MMA, and this was so long ago. But he did. It was like a fish out of water. Like I remember
Yeah,
his
he did not
debut.
look comfortable. At
His
all.
debut, we watched together, and first round, he's getting laid on.
But
then-
you're right.
And then
He's
he
so
fucking kneed the
strong
dude in the
that
face.
Yeah, that dude had such a hard time holding him down in his debut, and then eventually he was like, he's gonna try to take me down again. I'm gonna knee him in his fucking
Yeah.
shit. And then so that's what I'm saying. Like he's a dangerous guy to just try to shoot takedowns after, and especially dudes like
you're
Sean
dumb as
Strickland
fuck
who
if you're
doesn't.
just shooting. Obviously, you got to set some shit.
I know,
up.
but I'm saying just in general, like dudes like Sean Strickland who already aren't comfortable shooting. To like then be like, I'm gonna shoot at this,
And
knowing
you
the
could
dangers.
possibly, yeah.
Like when a fight's uncomfortable, the first thing you're gonna do is what you're comfortable doing. So if you're comfortable striking, you're gonna do that. But I think that's even strategic in Alex's. I mean, maybe it's not on purpose. I don't know who's the matchmaker, but I think just the fact that they keep feeding him majority strikers, I feel like that's like they want him in this position that he's in.
Yeah, I think there's also just not that many grapplers that are up there, but for sure they've been preserving him. You know, Blachowicz was the one test where it was like, all right, you want to go up? Let's give you a real contender and let's see. And he fucking won that fight.
Yeah.
And then obviously he's done what he's done since then. But yeah, I'd love to see a Khabib-esque guy up there. And right now it's Ankalaev is like the one guy that now
Who's
people
saying
want to
he's
see.
going to strike with him?
Exactly. Who's saying he's going to strike with him? Fucking idiot. Idiot. He might have a chance if he wrestles
him down.
If he wrestles him, he might have a chance.
Bro came to MMA just to continue kickboxing. Like that
Literally.
shit doesn't make no sense to me.
With smaller gloves.
Like I don't know. It's so interesting because even with the Justin Gaethje Max Holloway fight, no one even thought about fucking shooting a takedown.
No.
Like, these motherfuckers were just in there.
No one has an entire
kickboxing.
BMF fight
Yeah,
since
no
the belt's
takedowns.
been out.
Never.
No
Never.
takedowns. No, and then somebody was talking about Aljamain
DC
Sterling.
DC,
Get out
bro.
of here.
He's
bro.
like, I want to see a takedown. No one's ever taken a tried a takedown in a BMF
said,
fight.
Yeah, somebody said to me the boring motherfucker if they let Aljamain fight.
That's funny as so. But nah, a takedown could be sick if you get a crazy slam and you're grounding and pounding a motherfucker. Like that's still some BMF shit.
He did slam
Definitely
the
holding him
fuck
down.
out of Calvin
Yeah, he
Cater.
did.
I thought he almost got disqualified. I thought
Really?
he almost slammed it on his
can't.
fucking head. You can't do that shit.
I mean,
He made
someone's
him-
moving in the air and you're going for a slam.
It looked like he
Intentionally,
borderline
like-
He
controlled it.
suplexed.
Yeah.
He suplexed that
Yeah,
motherfucker.
shit was crazy.
But it looked like from when I was watching it, from my memory, it looked like Aljo realized like almost last second, like I gotta kind of control this fall a little bit. But like I feel like if he just suplexed him straight up on his head, like they would have been like, bruh. Like
Hey, come on.
there's rules to this, you know what I'm saying? Especially Aljo, they're like, you gonna be the one to break the rules, dog? You gonna do some
Thought
illegal
we were gonna
shit?
let you get away with it.
People weren't happy with Aljo's fight, but I was happy with it.
It's just because of the nature of the card and what people want to see. His performance was great for sure.
Yeah, I
like
was
as a
happy
fan
with it.
of mixed martial arts, he was great. It's just the fight as opposed to the other fights, how exciting they were.
He looked the same though,
It's not as
as
good
opposed to
watch.
Max moving up. You know, there's a
Yeah.
Yeah.
difference. You know?
Yeah, see, and
He looked good. at that weight.
ultimately, I think it's down to the level of competition because Max did it to somebody like Gaethje. It's like whoa, and I think for casuals, Calvin Kattar, they don't know. Calvin Cater's a good fighter. Like he made
Dude,
Calvin Kattar
box.
look like a nobody. So Aljo was good in there.
And he's got good takedown defense.
Yeah, Yeah, you know what I mean? So, like, it was no slouch that he was doing that to, but like you said, Gaethje's had a belt around his waist, whether it was interim or not. Cater hasn't quite got there, so.
The slam was sick.
I
That was
think
exciting.
him versus Ortega would be a great fight. That's what's
Aljo?
calling for next.
Yeah, Aljo and Ortega.
'Cause they both have great grappling. They're probably just going to end up striking.
I'd be here for
you
that
know?
because if they stand on the feet, it would be really interesting.
I mean, that's the only way you're gonna get a grappler to fucking stand. Like,
Another
you gotta put him
grappler.
in there with another grappler, where they're like, all right, this is dangerous. Like, fuck that shit.
It'd be really cool to see them scramble though, and to
Yeah,
to
for
see them
sure.
work on the ground together.
Scramble
Too. That's
and
why that
see who
fight would
strikes
be.
first. No
I see
shit'll be-
Ortega submitting him if he tries to go to the
Really,
ground. Yeah.
I think Ortega would be winning on the feet for sure.
Yeah, that's why I think Aljo's going
Yeah.
to go for the takedown, and
And
I
you
think
think Ortega
Ortega will
subs
sub him. He's got some sneaky subs, bro.
Ortega's
Especially
a
that
sneaky
guillotine.
bastard.
Yeah,
Sneaky bastard.
but Ortega is not that good on the feet.
No, he's not
Either,
good, bro.
you know?
Yeah. We've seen Max and Ortega, bro.
Let me teach you how to box
Please,
mid-fight.
someone, I tell you
Out
this
of pocket.
every time I see you, bro. You have to. That's crazy.
I've
Those
seen
fights.
that clip
Yeah,
where he's
crazy.
literally teaching Buddy.
Because he was beating him up for 20 minutes, like literally just beating him up, and then he
Said, "This
stopped.
is how you block."
Stopped in the middle of the
I'd be so
fucking-
fucking mad
altercation.
If
He's
so-
probably like, "What's going on? Why are you grabbing me? We're punching right now."
if someone was beating my ass and started coaching me up in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Bro, just beat my ass.
Dude.
Like, don't
So
do that
he
shit.
did-
After, in the back, do
So he
something,
started
bro.
coaching up Ortega, and then Calvin Cater. He was beating him up so bad he starts talking to the commentary team
I
while
remember
he's
that.
fucking
That shit
like,
was
I'm the
crazy.
best boxer in the UFC. Hits
yeah,
him.
hit him again. Yeah, and he hit him again.
Another thing where I'd be so fucking mad.
Just Max.
In both of these situations, take this dude down. Why the fuck are you trying to sit here and box with him?
Yeah.
That's not working. It's not working. That's one thing I don't get when people are doing something that's not working and they're like, I'm gonna keep trying it.
Well, I think effective coaching makes such a big difference. Like you'll see some fighters where it's like they definitely lost a round, or you're pretty sure they lost a round, and I get like keeping your guy confident and hyping him up, but they'll be like, oh, like 1-0 for sure, like 1-0 you, and it's like, bro, your dude he just lost. He's losing the round.
He's gonna
You're
keep
like,
doing what
keep
he's
doing what
doing.
you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. Like, no, you are losing the fight. Like, but then you'll see another corner. It could be a close round, and their fighter probably won the round, but they're like, hey, no, like you need to keep your foot on the gas. You need to win this round too. Don't let them, don't let them take round two. And I think that makes such a big difference, especially for the guys that aren't as experienced. Like you get to the championship level, you know what I mean? Like guys like a Max Holloway, they have a pretty good grip on the fight themselves. But these lower level fighters, you're telling them, hey, he's winning the fight, and he's fucking not. Like you're doing him a disservice.
I think it also has to go into play with what you were saying earlier about people taking down Alex. Like if it's not something that they do to begin with and they're not comfortable with it and they're already losing by that much, the last thing they're going to do is something that they're uncomfortable with, They're going to try to get that one shot or do that one thing that they think they can, not the thing that they don't do. They're going to stay with something that
That's
they're
a good point.
comfortable with.
Yeah, no, it's definitely hard, but
You got to learn adversity or like to switch it up when that shit's going on.
But also, like I'm saying, usually when fucking Alex is cleaning these dudes up, it's not in the later rounds. It's early. Like they don't even really get a chance to feel it out. Maybe Sean would have fucking.
But
went for a
you were
takedown.
talking about in the point of taking him down.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, like, the Calvin Cater Max fight, he doesn't take people down. He was not going to shoot. To that point, it's something that he doesn't do. He's not going to do it just because he's losing.
I haven't seen when I'm saying that, I mean in the sense of if this dude's been outboxing you and he turns around to talk to the judges, like I'm like, all right, I should at least try to fucking take this dude
Well, he
down.
didn't even turn around. It was in transition. He's like backstepping and he's looking at them while he's pushing him forward, and he's just like minding no care to this guy because he's just piecing him the fuck up.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That would be the time where I'm like, you know what? If now's the time to shoot, now's the fucking time. Like
Well, you just can't touch him. Like he gets to that level in those fights where they just literally can't touch him.
Max is one of those dudes who rolls with punches, and that is the most annoying thing because like it doesn't feel like you hit him. It feels like you missed and you feel out of position. Because think about when you're like say you're hitting a heavy bag, right? Like you're bracing for that impact, and the way Max rolls with punches,
he's taking you for the
think you're
ride.
gonna have that impact, and then you realize at the last second, like you have impact, but it's not what you thought, bro. That shit is fucking weird. That's something I'm trying to get good at, and because when motherfuckers do that shit, it's the worst. I would much rather completely miss than have a motherfucker roll perfectly. Just perfect, because you're just like, I'm there. Like, it's like, what the, like, to the judges it even looks like you probably fucking hit him, but like, god damn it, like, he didn't feel that shit, and I was wide open. If he didn't feel that shit's scary. So I could only imagine fighting a motherfucker like Max, bro. That shit has to be such a fucking complicated thing. The only thing I would really say, bro, you gotta like fucking take this motherfucker down. Even the leg kicks wasn't working on him. I thought like that he did not care that his leg
He's
was
got
getting
Hawaiian
fucked up,
bones,
bro.
brother.
Yeah, man.
They different out there.
He did not like. Usually you see he was talking about on Joe Rogan. They were like, "Yeah, your leg was getting fucked up." Usually you see people switch stances. He was like, "I didn't want both legs to get
Right.
fucked up."
What am I to do? What did he say? Like crawl to him?
Yeah,
That's
bro.
funny as fuck.
Yeah, I watched that podcast and I was like, yeah, bro, I really fuck with this dude Max. I watched his last Joe Rogan podcast and I thought he was sick too. But after this one, I was like, nah, Max is that dude. I'm not gonna lie, I was one of those dudes that were, I'm not gonna say counting him out, but like, after those Volk fights, I was just like, nah, he's good, but Volk's the dude. And then Volk took the L, took 2 L's. So you think they're gonna run Volk Max 4?
No.
Never.
It's either gonna be
The only way.
Max versus Max would have
The only way
belt.
is with Max with the belt. Yeah, I've always said that. The only way they can run it
Yeah.
again is
If
if Max wins the belt.
If Max beats Ilya, you think they'd run Max?
They could,
That's
but
probably what Volk's waiting for now.
Ilya rematches with Volt, like somewhere there's going to be Ilya rematches, I think, but it could happen for sure. I think it.
What
could
I'm
happen.
hearing is Max and Taporia are gonna fight, and whoever wins that fight is gonna fight for the 55 belt.
Mm.
Which is crazy because there's just so many guys. I mean, I don't mind.
Bro,
if
Islam
it's-
has had one
yeah if
fight
it's-
in the top 5,
I know.
and he's talking about going to fight Leon already.
If it was Max, I feel better about it because at least he beat Gaethje too,
Someone
who's
in, the
in
division,
that division,
a top tier
at
guy.
the top of the division, right? But if we're giving Ilya that shot, it's like, oh, bro, does anyone y'all think Ilya got a shot against Islam?
Yeah, he's got
You
ground
do?
game.
You think Ilya has a
Yeah.
shot against Islam?
I do, bro. Ilya is a different breed.
I think
He
Islam's
really
just so much
is.
bigger though. Like Islam is fucking huge compared to Ilya.
I haven't
If
seen
he
enough
strikes
of
with
Ilya's
him-
ground game to say that like this or that.
He's
but
a black
I do
belt in
think,
Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Oh, word?
Yeah, bro.
Okay.
I told you this last time he
He's a
fought.
black belt.
You said the same thing. Oh, word?
No, that changed because I see him in there boxing, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, bro, his
'Cause he wants to
power
throw
in his
hands.
hands, that's crazy. The reason it's
That's why I'm
word
saying
is
he's
like, you don't even
different
need
is
to be.
because he is an all-around fighter. Like Islam, his strong suit is the ground, but he's learning to strike.
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
whenever he goes with Islam, he has an answer.
Mhm.
It's just what you were saying in terms of size.
So okay, if he's a black belt specifically, I think that Islam could out wrestle him, but I don't think he's not gonna be able to submit him. Even if he gets to like positions, if he's a black belt, I think he's gonna have trouble.
he doesn't have to submit him
finishing.
though. He just needs to go to the Khabib fucking 101, bro, and just smash.
He's
Take
not
him
that
down
kind
and
of
just
fighter
smash.
though. He's really not. He's been more
I feel
wrestle
like he,
forward.
Yeah, I feel like he's
He's got more subs
typically,
than
yeah.
smashes. You know.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
But
saying. I've
for
seen him
that
submit
for that
some
fight.
dudes.
For that fight, I think he's taking him down. Because but you're right. Like with Volk, he was just kind of holding position. But Volk was being a fucking son of a bitch in that fight. You know what I mean? Like fighting back like hell from the bottom.
But even with the motherfucker who like, if he's a black belt, bro, like you don't want to just sit there and wrestle with him.
No,
he's a
he's
black
gonna
belt.
grab something and he's gonna start twisting.
I didn't know you probably did tell me last time he was a black belt, but that's what I'm saying. Like black belts, bro. Like unless someone just gave him a belt he didn't fucking deserve. Like that's
He's
not something
26,
you want to
bro.
just lay down.
He's like
on
young
top
as
of it.
fuck. Imagine
Yeah.
when this dude gets to 32, 33 years old. Like this dude is young.
I think he dropped out of school when he was younger. His parents
Really?
let him just train. Yeah.
He's already talking about an early retirement though, so I bet
See,
he
I
don't
hate
make
that.
30. Me
No,
too.
I
Me too. That's
hate
bullshit.
that.
You know?
Hate that.
Don't show me the shining light and then
you've
turn the
won
fucking
one
lights out
fight.
in the dark.
One fight. He's won one.
Well, you got to think
Against the guy no one can beat.
one fight. But the thing is, if Islam didn't beat him first, I'm personally not in the camp of like one knockout ruins a fighter. Like I'm not trying to say Volk was
The time
yeah,
matters though.
but had he beaten Volk before Islam beat him, I would be taking it a way bigger deal. Like, oh, this is the guy that finally shut Volk's lights out. Like, Volk got his fucking head kicked off, and we all saw it.
But he beat him
That
at a
punch
different
would have
weight
knocked
class,
out
though.
Volk.
No,
no matter
that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying
punch was
to.
perfect.
I'm not trying to. I mean, I guess I am kind of trying to take it away, but. He beat Volk, but Volk lost 2 fights
But
before.
Volk didn't lose at 45. Volk went up and lost. So I feel like it's just different because he went, because when Volk lost, we were like, he lost, but not at his weight class. You know what I'm saying? Now he's back down at his weight class fighting the people that he's supposed to be the dog of that fucking division.
Yeah, but he got knocked out clean, and it wasn't that long of a wait. And he took that fight on short notice. You know what I mean? Like, there was just such a storm, and Ilya was just a perfect timing for him to just fucking take everything Volk had, bro. Crazy. Run in your trap, take over your trap, bro. He took his shit.
These dudes
took his strap and left him for dead.
I mean, these dudes who try to fucking retire early, I don't blame them, especially when they come from a place where they're like poor as fuck, and like they're just like, because when dudes win gold at the fucking Olympics, like you don't expect them to have to keep coming back. Some of them do, and that's super GOAT status, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, when you're coming from like no money, you're training all the fucking time, like that, like to get as good as he is at the age he is, like bro could not have had that much of a life. Like, at all. Like, bro's probably so fucking tired of training all the goddamn time that he's, like, doing the shit in my 30s. Like, I got kids and shit. Like, I don't know. That should be making sense to me. I feel like with the American fighters, you don't see that shit as much just because, like, it's just a different lifestyle over here.
I mean, I understand wanting to retire young, but it's not like he's rattled off a list of mega fights where he's, like, insanely rich already. If he was... You know what I mean? If
he has that one fight in Spain, though, he will be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If 3 more fights down the road, he was like, yo, I'm getting ready to call it, and he's 28. Now I'm like, yo, dude, do you? You're fucking rich. You have the resume already. That's my problem is he doesn't have the resume.
So
for him to talk about I'm the greatest and I want to retire young, like you haven't really done fucking dick.
The thing was, this is how
ride off in the sunset.
This is how he was talking about his defeat in Volk. So I feel like this is just the mindset he has towards his life. He knows these things that he's going to accomplish. He's going to wait till he gets to 28 because he knows what fight he's going to get till he gets there. But he speaks what he's going to do before he does it, in a sense, you know? Just like how he was saying he was going to beat Volk. Everyone was like, dude, what have you done? What have you done? You've beaten Jaw Herbert, all these no-names.
Yeah.
And then what did he do? He did exactly what the fuck he said. He was filming a documentary about his road to the belt before he had it. Who's done that?
Conor
hasn't even done that.
Conor
did have a documentary because he had footage from before he even had his first debut.
Well, footage isn't like, okay, I was filming in the background. Not intentionally saying, I'm going to win the belt. This is why I'm filming this documentary.
Yeah.
He made a movie of him getting
just
the belt.
out of his belt run.
Out of his pure
I like
confidence.
I'm here for
it.
it. I've actually, because you've told me that, I've been looking into his shit. It slipped my mind he's a black belt, but I've been looking into his shit. And I do like his mindset, his confidence. He actually said his first fights, he did not have that shit. He said his first fight, his only thought was, why the fuck am I doing this? He was like, I did not want to be there. I was so afraid.
That's why he started drinking the wine the night before.
He said his second fight too. His first fight, first round finished, like demolished the kid. But the second fight was only, I think, like 2 months later. He said he was still scared as fuck because he didn't have any like ring time yet. And the same thing kind of just kept happening, and then it's cool to see where he is now, where he just has like this utmost belief in himself. But a part of me is curious on if he has that utmost belief in himself, or if that's something that he's working on within himself, and that's why he's so like vocal about it. Because like, I mean, if you're nervous, like it doesn't help you talking about it.
Yeah.
Like, why not just like risk it all and be like, yeah, I could do this. Like, that's only there's this book. It's 33 Rules of War, some shit like that. But that's one of the things. It's just like, make your opponents think that like you're the most confident motherfucker ever, because it's just gonna fuck them up. And who knows? Maybe he has a page out of that book.
Well, if he does, he's playing it into reality, because you know what I mean. You can tell when some people are putting on a facade. But it seems like he's just speaking of truth when he does say these things. There's no question behind what he's saying when he says it. It seems genuine.
The reason I even say it was because at 300, whenever they put the camera on him, maybe he's just not used to the fame and stuff yet.
He looked nervous.
But he did have there was like an energy that was like not the confidence that you always see from him. But like I'm saying, that could just be like, he's just now becoming a superstar. Like he's probably just not used to like it fucking mattering what he's doing when he's not even
At
fucking
all times.
fighting. Yeah. So
And
that
it's
could
like-
be a lot.
Maybe he was as shocked as all of we were, and then the camera pans to him, and he's like,
I mean, I think
You know what I
that's
mean?
exactly what
Right.
it is. It's just the idea of every time we see him in front of a camera, he
He
seems
is
like
prepared.
he's so fucking poised. The fact that his raw reaction was that of us was like, oh, look, this guy is human. He's fucking, look, see,
Right.
he's scared of Max because
Imagine
Max just did
imagine
this.
they panned over to him and he was just like stroking his mustache,
I
looking
mean,
at it.
See,
next
but-
time he
yeah,
will.
but see,
Because
exactly.
now he
But
knows.
see, that
Yeah.
would have been like, oh, like, see, this guy's unfazed. It would have been so cool, this huge thing that
Yeah.
Ilya couldn't even, like, it didn't matter.
He should have brought a cat to the
And he
UFC.
said,
He's
and he
fucking
said
petting
that,
shit.
yeah, he said, like, you know what I mean. The day after, he's talking all it looks like a bar fight is what he said. But it's like, bro, you can say that now, but we all saw your face when it happened, and you look scared. So whether you're
Scared is
not.
one
Receiving,
word,
though.
but I think he was shocked. Scared is like, how would he be scared? He's not even in the ring with this dude.
I think he knows.
That's true.
I think
That's a
he
better word.
knows
That's
that
true.
he would have to fight this dude. Like the scared, I can understand that, and people being like, he knows he's gonna have to fight this dude, and he sees like this dude has some fucking power. You know what I'm saying? But
At
I don't think he has
55.
power like Max though. Like I don't know. I because of my newfound appreciation for Max, I don't want that fight for him. Being honest, like I feel like I don't think you need to run that.
Dude, I don't know. I think that fight is going to be huge. I hope that's the Spain fight. That would be huge.
Spain won't be this year, so if
You
it
said it
is,
won't be?
No, they're not.
I
Gonna be able
think
to
I
make
think
that happen.
they give everybody some time.
I think he
honestly.
fights Connor if he waits long enough. That's really
Oh,
who
yeah?
I think he is.
He needs
no,
more fight-
no.
oh,
I'm talking
Max.
about Max.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he could. Ilya needs more fights. I'm sorry. Look, I'm all in for let's go to Spain and whatnot, but you got to start built like all these other guys that have earned the right to do that did exactly that. They earned the right. Izzy, how many fucking banger fight? How many main cards was he on? He earned his way to do that. Ilya won the belt. Great. Here's your flowers. Let's defend the belt at least once or twice before we're talking about I'm going to box. I'm going to fight Sean O'Malley. I'm going to fight Islam. I'm going to retire.
Well, O'Malley's calling him.
Yeah,
out.
O'Malley's trying to
no,
fight him.
I know, but he's entertaining everybody. And
Why
it's
not
like-
though? He's like, I'll take all the smoke.
But he, at the same time, was like, all these other 145ers aren't good enough to fight me. It's like, dude, you can't. Which one is it?
Well, other than Max and Volk, who else is there?
He said Yair wouldn't touch the belt. He said
Yair's been getting
Mosar-
dog walks.
I think
in the top
Mosar.
5.
Yeah, but
Mosar is
but
12-0 on a run.
But it was
I'll give
before.
you that
It was
one.
before he had the belt. He's talking about he doesn't want to fight any of these 145ers. Whereas you look at the approach of the Adesanya. Whereas no, the Usman. I'm gonna clean out every one of these fucking dudes, and then now Izzy went up. Izzy didn't win the belt and say I'm gonna go for double champ. Izzy won the belt, waxed 3 other dudes, and then was like, I guess I'm gonna go for the double champ because I got nobody else to fight. You know what I mean? He didn't win the belt and then say, "Oh, look at me! Look how fucking good I am." And again, I'm not trying to say that he's not that good. I would just like to see him prove it, and then give us 2 more pay-per-views of, "Oh, this is that fucking dude."
Well, wait, you think he'd try to fight him, Matt? Well,
Give
wait, you
us
think
that-
Connor would
It's
try to
literally
fight him?
Give us that
impossible.
65.
What Connor would try to fight him
Yeah.
at? 85.
Not
Just like
give-
you said he would fight Chandler at.
Give us
We've yet to hear the terms of this
They're
fight,
not-
and
they're
I
not
think it's
fighting at
because it's at
85.
65.
I think. Did they? I was going
It's
to say.
not been announced.
I thought I saw 170, but I hope it's the 65, and that's definitely where Connor would want to.
But I think it's fucked up because he was telling Chandler we're fighting at 85, and this motherfucker's been bulking up. He's put right when he
Did
said
that on
that
purpose
shit.
for sure,
Yeah.
yeah.
He was.
The McGregor, the Floyd Mayweather handbook, bro. He knows what he's doing.
He wasn't with. Excuse me. He was with them toe to toe. He knows the book now.
Yeah.
That 33 Rules of War or whatever book, McGregor is definitely taking a page out of that
Yeah.
shit. So, and that's one of the things, bro. Like, just really giving them like a disadvantage. I don't know, man. Maybe.
Does anyone remember what weight they fought Floyd and Connor?
I don't know. He looks small though.
Yeah, small for sure. Like he definitely, because Floyd's not big. Floyd's not big.
No, not at
No
all.
way Connor could get down there these days.
I don't know. My guess would be like 45, 50.
Same, 45.
50. See, that's what I'm saying. Floyd's not
Floyd's
even
not that big.
Floyd's not that big.
I think Floyd just knew like this dude's not a boxer. He probably didn't take it as seriously as some other people.
We're gonna
Because
find out.
McGregor at 45 looks a certain way that like we would have. He didn't look 45 McGregor.
But that was just on the, you know what I mean? That's just on the scale, I feel like. The 45 McGregor, where he looks fucking like a sicko.
Got Blake on the Googles.
Working the webs. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of good fights to be had. That 300 definitely opened up the whole world of possibilities for Max. 2 divisions, got a BMF
Wow.
belt.
153-pound max. At the weigh-ins, Mayweather tipped the scales at 149.5. McGregor at 153.
Yeah, so you're right. So Floyd literally was dicking around. Knew he,
Mhm.
it wouldn't matter. Could be under 53. And then
But
Conor
see,
got
then
down.
Floyd
And
is
he had the
also
rounds.
smart to play into the rounds. He
Mhm.
waited for Conor to gas himself out like he always fucking does.
Mm-hmm.
And then once it got it, because he was in there hanging with the guy. You know what I mean? He was
Early.
landing good fucking shots on him.
Yeah.
Nobody hits Floyd like that. And then Conor gassed out. And
Yeah,
then he just
McGregor's
started piecing him the fuck
dangerous
up.
early on.
Yeah.
I actually just watched this thing that was just all McGregor's fights, and it was interesting because it wasn't that long of a thing because he had a lot of like early finishes,
Mm-hmm.
and the fights were like they were either early finishes or they went to decision. Like later rounds, he wasn't finishing dudes.
No, because he was That's why the Diaz fights were so good because
They were
Diaz
wars.
wasn't getting finished either. So McGregor would put on a show and not put him to sleep, and then he would get tired, and then Nate all of a sudden is slapping him around because Connor's fucking huffing and puffing.
He's been calling for that next fight.
I mean, they
He
should,
wants to
dude.
come back and fight
They
him
should.
I think Nate's win past the fucking,
Too late.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
He looks
I
like
think
shit.
I think I agree.
him and his brother.
But if we're bringing Connor back, like,
But
that
Conor
thought-
at
that-
least
if we're
just
bringing
stays
Connor back,
active. He's never
Yeah.
stopped training to an extent.
You
know?
can't start fighting Jake Paul and then go back to like UFC.
You can't lose to Jake Paul and then
Yeah.
go back to the UFC.
Yeah.
after
Sure,
the Conor
Because
fight.
I don't even think Dan would want that shit, bro. Because now you're just tainting the UFC guys. And now Jake gonna be like, yeah, I beat that guy too.
Mhm.
He tried to choke me out, couldn't.
dude,
I heard-
nah.
Jake Paul is calling for Nate Diaz again in the octagon. He even called out a different UFC fighter as well.
I know. Jake said
He
that
offered
he'd
him
be
$10
down.
million.
Who's turning? Nate's not turning that down.
Nate has everything to lose if he loses that fight.
But he don't got $10 million.
He can say I lost a boxing
thing
fight.
is,
I don't
I
box.
feel like Jake
but
is-
if he goes and loses in an MMA fight,
Jake is a lot heavier than him too.
Way
Jake's a
heavier.
big fucking dude.
if Jake is publicizing, I tried to fight this dude for 10 mil and he backed out. I don't know. I haven't seen Jake saying that, but like,
I saw it recently. He offered 2 different MMA fighters to fight in the PFL for $10 million.
Oh, in
and
the
they both denied
PFL?
it. Yeah.
Okay, well then I could see them being like, nah, PFL, trying to be on their like UFC fucking.
Bullshit. If they're out of if they're out of UFC and they were offered $10 million,
Yeah, no, I think it's bullshit too. But I'm saying now they got the built-in excuse of loyalty, or
They
whatever.
don't want to cross over to PFL or
Yeah,
whatever.
I could see that. But
why? So they can't come back and fight Conor?
Shit, at this point, I
don't
almost
know.
want UFC to go all in and let's just book fucking Jake and Connor and let's just
Let's
fucking
do it.
see it. Let's just see it. If we're gonna make Jake rich off this shit anyway, let's just fucking see.
He's
it.
already
Let's
rich.
just.
I feel
that's
like-
what I'm saying.
I feel like Jake
but
could
I'm
do
saying
this
if we're
shit
gonna
for
give him
free.
even more money, if we're gonna feed into this at all, dude, let's just get him in there with
I
McGregor
think-
already, baby.
I think Jake would do
Let's
it
see
for
what
free
everyone wants to see.
because realistically, the UFC couldn't pay him what he could make on his own. I think it would only boost his brand and make him more money. Like I feel like he would not be doing it for the money at all. Like they're not going to pay him what he can, like what he makes. He's just
Right.
going
No,
to be able
because
to
he's-
have those accolades.
Because he's rich already. But that's what's supposed to be appealing about him. Is this dude is already rich? He's not fighting for the money. He's fighting because he likes it, and
He's doing
has
what Conor
a
wants
liking
to do.
to it.
Yeah.
And he's just doing it because he wants to prove that he's a fighter and he's a dog, and all that shit. So he should. I would hope that he would do it without them. You know what I mean? Because he's fucking rich already.
I think he's mentioned like being willing to fight
I think
for
so,
free
too.
in the UFC.
I think Conor knocks out Chandler, speaking of him. Not gonna lie, I feel like he has a lot to lose.
I want
this
Connor
fight,
too. I
you
love
know?
Connor. Bro.
I
I want
think-
Connor to come
I
back.
think-
I would love another Connor Range.
I think a-
just that shit talk. If he brings that back, oh,
I think a lot of it rides on Chandler's approach, and if Chandler is there to make it an exciting fight, Connor knocks him
But
out.
what does Chandler
Chandler's
do?
there. If Chandler's there to win the fight, I think there's a chance Chandler's wrestle fucks him. There's
What
a chance.
does Chandler do in every single fight?
He tries to make it exciting. He leaves his fucking chin up and he
But
goes
how does
crazy.
he runs?
Yeah, he runs
He's always
crazy,
pushing forward,
trying to not get
And
the
how does
knockout. He's
Connor
gonna.
knock
He's
people
gonna.
out?
Chandler's gonna hurt them, and he's gonna fucking
counters.
chase. Yeah. Oh,
No,
yeah.
it's
But that's the thing. But
stylistically,
if
it's a good
Chandler,
fight
but
for
let's say
McGregor.
Chandler's, it's just win the fight at all costs, and if he's disciplined, which again, big if, because
He gets hit a lot.
he never is, right? That's what I'm saying. So if it's the same Chandler we've seen, I think he gets knocked out. If he's really on his
Calm.
just wanting to just win and you don't care how it looks, I think he can
I don't
win the
think
fight.
that's Chandler though.
It's not.
It's
It's
not.
not. But that's what I'm saying.
So I
If
think
I'm
he
saying
gets
if
knocked
the
out.
camp is win this fight because a win is the most important thing as opposed
But
to.
if it's for the 165 belt,
That's
you
what
could
I'm
have a
saying.
point.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah, just wrestle fuck him and it could happen. But if he's gonna do the hey, I'm bigger and badder and I want to beat McGregor on the feet, he's gonna lose.
100%.
I think he's smarter than that.
He should
he,
be,
though?
but
I
he's
think
done
at
it with
this
everyone.
At this point, I hope he's smarter than that. Like, I hope. If he's not smarter than that, then I don't know what the fuck's wrong with him at this point. Like, I hope he's matured. He's been in the UFC enough.
But
I
all
think
of
he's
them
ready
else.
for the retirement fight too. On the other hand, that's why he waited almost 4 years for this fight. Some shit crazy,
like
shit
two,
like that.
2 years
2
for
years?
sure. Yeah, like he definitely waited 2 years. By the
Because-
time
yeah,
they fight,
2
it'll
years.
be 2
They're saying
years.
because he could have fought 4 times
Yeah.
and made the same amount of money. But it's like he's waiting for that big bag, and he's gonna touch. He's gonna
And then
run in
that's
the
it.
wind.
Because if he loses, because if he loses,
He lost to
you still
everyone
got
in the top
another.
5
You
in
still
that
got another
150.
fight or two if you want. And if he wins, you got another huge fight or two after that. You know what I mean? And then you're getting paid extra,
Well,
and then going out.
if it's his retirement fight, then I could see him going in there just trying to bang because he's like, fuck it, I'm going to go out with a bang. And if he does beat McGregor, retires,
It's not his retirement fight. If he beats McGregor, you
I
think he's
don't
going to put the
no.
gloves down?
He-
No fucking way.
Especially if it's at a belt.
But I think it's on his way.
At
This
the
is like
belt, yeah.
this is the feather in the cap. This is going to be the crowning jewel of your fucking career.
I mean,
beat
it makes
McGregor.
sense because those guys are still going to be there. And hypothetically, if he loses to those guys, it kind of fucks up the McGregor fight. And, he beats McGregor now, like,
He
he's
can
just
fight
going to
any
make
of those
more money
guys. Yeah.
when he fights those guys. I do think I think they should make a 65 belt, but if they do it just for Connor, that's just fucking, I don't know. I don't like that. It's
Bro, they move mountains for that guy.
and that's what I mean. That's like I get it. Like I get it. He makes you the most money, but it's just like I feel like it makes me feel like the company's not as legit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he's like, we're about fighters. We're not about that social media, like
No
the shit
gimmick
that he
fights.
talks
Yeah,
about
no
with
gimmick fights.
fucking Jake Paul and shit. But it's just like, bro, McGregor's not far off. Like Jake's just trying to be like this dude, if anything. So if they do all that shit for him, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm gonna watch it. I'm here for it, and
But
I'm
then it's
happy,
like-
but
You have a point, but if you're introducing a brand new weight class at 165 and you have nobody for the division, how do you start that for a belt fight? Other than doing it in a way like that. You know what I mean? How are you just going to start a 165 division, pick 2 people, and let them fight for a belt?
But like Dan was saying, you got to also change the 70 to 75.
You have to.
And then what happens to the 70 like champion like are
They have to be a 75 champion.
so do they just get bumped up and then are they
Keep
just
the
the
belt.
first
The
2
weight
people in
class will
line?
Go up.
Oh, but yeah, I don't know. It is weird. It is weird. And if they do it, I think it should have been done, and that's what I'm saying. But if they do it specifically for McGregor, it just feels fucking
Corny.
weird and corny,
Yeah.
and just fucking run it at 170. But no, he needs to be fighting for a belt.
Yeah.
It's just like
That was kind of
But
I feel like
what
how
I
it started.
heard,
But there
it
is
was-
a legitimate sense
I
to
heard
it.
the 165
Yeah.
was even before Connor was announced for a fight. Fazeev was the first fighter to be talking about a 165 belt.
Mm.
And he said he's not going to go for it. He's going to stay where he is. So, I mean, to my previous point, how else do you start that division?
Yeah. The only way I could think, and I don't think it makes sense right now because where the UFC is, would be like an Ultimate Fighter type shit, and it's like you're literally
165.
drafting. Yeah, like you're literally drafting
and then those two
but the
people
UFC's
fight
too
for the
big.
belt.
You know what I mean? We already have the start. We already have the guys that are going to fight in the class. So we don't. You know what I mean? We're not trying to field new talent.
I saw the
It's just assembling it a different way.
I saw the funniest fucking. It would be the funniest thing. Patty was saying that because you know how what's his name Moicano has been calling him out. He's like, I like that guy. He's funny as shit. It's like me and him should be the next
The
Ultimate
coaches,
Fighter.
yeah.
We'll just make lads laugh for 6 weeks. I was like, I'm game. Let's do it.
That'd be funny.
That shit would be funny.
Shit, they're gonna have to be 65. Patty's fat ass.
Literally. That dude balloons the fuck up. That cannot be healthy, bro.
Not at all. Not at all.
You can see it in his face between every camp.
Not good
Well,
on the
He's
joints.
skinny-ish right now. Like he doesn't
He's
look as
doing
bad as
good.
he normally did,
That's
but
good.
his face is still like
His face is
Poofy.
round, yeah.
No, I'm happy for him. He's come out and said that he like has like fucking like eating disorders and shit like that. Bro, that shit's
starving
so
yourself like
common.
that. I'm sure it is.
Yeah, bro, that shit's so like I'm not on that level, but even like whenever I'm like just cutting weight a little bit, and then like after doing a competition like that week after, it's just like fuck, bro, like just like extreme discipline, man, like balance, because that's the thing about like a lot of these fighters, bro, they can't live a life of balance. Like it's only extremes.
Yeah, because you can't afford it, dude. That's why everything is hard. That's why our culture is predominantly overweight now these days. Because if it was easy, everybody would be fit.
If he was in America, is
Like,
he in
you got-
America?
Mm-mm.
Patty, he's English.
Imagine how fat he'd be here, eating like that, like
Yeah.
the shit
Well, I
that
see.
we
Like
have
that's
here.
the thing is like what you're saying about discipline. Like you can still get the nutrition you need on that week back, but it's the discipline.
Yeah.
Especially not eating for a week. You want to eat all that good shit,
Mm-hmm.
but you need to eat the
You had
nutritious good shit.
3 months you didn't have any cookies, like you're
Right.
gonna want to. You didn't have no bread. Now you want some pasta.
Each
You
time
want
it's just
some
going to keep getting
whatever.
harder and harder
Yeah.
and harder.
Mhm. Yeah, not that, and that's what I'm saying. Like where these fighters are like, I want to retire early. I'm like, man, if you're locked in and you're gonna be locked in, like I could definitely, I can understand why they're like, yeah, I'm not doing this shit forever. Like I'm trying to make my money and bounce, and like, and that's why I got respect for dudes like Connor. But also, I'm like, bro, you don't have the same why. Like like I get it. I think he just loves money, so he's like, fuck it. Like I
I
could
think
make
he
a
loves
little
the fight.
more. You think?
He's making money in so
I
many
believe him
different
now.
ways.
Yeah, I believe him
I think
now
he
because he's
loves
making
to fight.
he's so rich now. UFC money, I feel like, is literally nothing to him.
But I feel like he wants to. His other businesses are because of what he does in the UFC, and I think he just wants to grow. Because all right. I think.
But I think it's because he loves the fighting.
I think
that's what he wanted
I think
to
he
do.
loves the night of showing up and fighting, but just everything that goes into the fight. I think he hates the training camp. I think he likes the bright lights and showing up that night and
He likes
doing
the
that.
performance.
Yeah,
Mate,
but,
I
so
think
what it takes to get you to the dance, bro.
Yeah.
Like
At one
I don't
point,
know.
it was for the love of the game for sure. Maybe now he is not thrilled about cutting the weight and shit like that. But yeah, he's definitely performer. Like he's just one for the big stage, and maybe he's missing that. Like he's not missing money; he's making money somewhere else. But it's not. You don't have the thrill of.
It's bro, he just
performing.
doesn't have to train, and I think that, and maybe because he was able to take such a long time off, maybe he'll be able to find a new love for it. But bro, training's just so fucking mentally, physically taxing, especially like if you have the money already, like as much money as he makes. I just don't see why else he would get back into it unless he's trying to make more money. Because like bros comes, I don't know how many times has he come out and been like, yeah, I wasn't training how I was supposed to be training, blah blah blah, whatever. I was drinking, whatever. And like we know he's doing the same shit, going on movie premieres. Like he's not doing.
I mean,
he's
3
not in the
times.
gym.
Khabib and 2 Poiriers. That's it. He was undefeated before that.
But I mean that's a lot of times to be like
Pretty much
drinking.
every time since.
Well, I mean,
he
after
left.
Khabib, the 2 can be written off from him just being rich as fuck. He was obviously partying. He was doing all that bullshit. Then he realized, oh, I love fighting for fighting, not just the money. I think what you were saying to a point, I think he got into fighting for money, and then he realized after he stopped fighting how much he loves fighting, but his why for fighting, it doesn't outweigh his trying to get the money to where he was,
Mhm.
I think he loves to fight, but I don't think him love fighting is makes him train harder. You
Yeah.
know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, it's like the opposite. It's like what one of you said earlier, but the opposite of Jake Paul. Where
Right.
like now Jake Paul has the money, does not need to be doing this shit, and is doing this shit at a high level because he already made the money. He's already had fun being fucking rich and shit. Now he's trying to do something else.
His
exactly,
original
it's the
why
inverse.
outweighs the fight.
Yeah, it's the
you know?
inverse.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I would love to see him come back and like have his moment, but I think a lot of that is because of the things that I saw of him before he was where he was. Like, I feel like my appreciation for McGregor, even though I didn't see it live or like watch the fights, it was like looking back and seeing the rise of McGregor. Like,
Dude,
that shit. Like,
experiencing it like in real time though, because that's the thing is UFC was nothing. Like people didn't watch. It was not a
It
mainstream
was a
thing at
dying
all.
sport.
Like you did not
They
just
were almost
find
going
MMA
bankrupt.
fans like that back then. McGregor, like that's why they moved the mountains for him, because he took. Without him, they are not. There is no Max Holloway, the superstar. There is no Alex Pereira. Like they just isn't. They're not going to be nearly
No
as
Izzy.
wealthy and famous because Connor literally shot it way up, because there was got like Aldo was one of the best, considered the best fighter of all time, like, or best fighter at the time, but he's not. He's popular, but he wasn't, global megastar. But he's he's popular in Brazil. People knew him in the U.S. But then you beat these guys that are the best, and he's
Yeah.
doing it in a way that nobody did it, and it was just like, yo, holy shit! Like this guy is must see television, and he was finishing everybody.
now
Finishing everybody.
that shit must have been insane live, because I got on Connor after he already had his like bouts with Diaz and shit. So I've already seen him like humanized and shit. But I could imagine like in the beginning, like just being like, all right, let's watch this dude, and being like,
you've never
oh shit,
you've never watched a live McGregor fight feeling like he was invincible, because you've seen him get touched. Like there was a time where he was literally fucking invincible. Like he would go to the press conference, talk the most outrageous shit about
a
you
whiskey bottle
that anybody's
saying-
ever talked, and then go slap you silly. Like, bro, the Eddie Alvarez fight, oh my god! And this was up a weight class because he was at 45, ran through, won the belt. Then he went up to 55, so literally just went from belt straight to another belt shot, went up a class, and made this dude
First
look like
double.
nothing.
yeah. I've
Was
only watched
knocking
it
him
back.
down, yeah, and it's just crazy.
But so that's what I'm saying. I've only watched it back, and that's why I say like it would be sick to see Connor have another run. But a part of me just feels like I just want to like see that shit again.
I mean,
and I just don't think he's that guy. Like not even like I don't think he's that. Like his life is just completely different. He's in a different environment. Like everything about his life is different. But I just don't think he's that guy. Like he even tried to be nice Connor for a little bit, and it was like, all right, that's just not working. And like I think my feeling of wanting to see him get back there, I feel like that's a part of what he's doing right now. Like he's trying to get back to that dude, like that fucking McGregor, where
Yeah.
like
The problem is
He
it
got
never
close
happened.
with the second because he actually separated from his family. You know what I mean? He went away for like 1.5, 2 months before the actual fight to try to get into that mode, but he just couldn't click back.
it's because he fucking
It's
hurt
because
his-
he's rich,
his
dude. It's
shit.
because
Well,
you,
he
when
had
you can
his-
have anything you want. You're talking about how hard it is to be disciplined to train. He's got yachts. He's got whatever
you say
want,
this, but
and,
like you have all the money to cultivate what you need to
yeah,
get there,
if you need to
know?
do it. But I'm trying to speak to
He
your
doesn't
point
need
of
to.
you're talking about he separated himself, and it's like because if you don't, how you know what I
Right,
mean?
it's
It's
impossible.
impossible. It's impossible. You got everything. You know what I mean? Like there's
But
no way. you're
even
gonna be
with the
disciplined.
money that he has to train, because one thing about fighting, like we know about with Connor, is like he's not a cardio king. You know what I'm saying? And
How this motherfucker rides a bike everywhere?
right?
Why? Where's his cardio at? It's because he's so muscular.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably
Top
a part
heavy.
of it.
Mhm.
But that's what I'm saying. Like just knowing that, no amount of money fixes that. Training has to fucking suck for him. He's tired. Like training
Yeah.
if he's not like his training his training sessions have to be super grueling.
Yeah. I mean, some people just have like built-in energy. Like some of these guys, like the Max Holloways, the people that go the distance and just look like they're not that tired. Like that's just natural. Like you can be in great shape, and it's normal to have a gas tank. Like you should get tired. That's a normal thing.
Mm-hmm.
But these guys, you know what I mean? So I don't know. Like I think obviously it's hard for him, but I don't know if he's gassing out. Like
But I
left
mean,
and
if you're
right. Like,
training-
he might be training hard. He just doesn't have that natural
But real
Gas
good
tank. Add
training,
in the
bro.
drinking. Add in
For a
all that
UFC
shit.
fighter, bro, your training session should be at least an hour to 2. If you're doing 1 a days, you should be doing minimum 3. Realistically, you're doing like 2 1.5 hour sessions, and then you're doing weightlifting and all that shit with it. Like, if you don't have that why, bro, like that's a hard thing to just fucking do, especially when you're sitting there eating bullshit and knowing like I can afford like so and then when you're like, I'm doing this to go here and fight this night, and like the money I'm gonna make this night, I fucking made today already, like by not doing shit. Like I don't know, man. I think I don't necessarily see him being the best of the best again, but I would love that. Like I fucking like that dude. Like a lot of people don't like him and they talk a lot of shit. I was actually detailing this Irish lady's car, and every time I talk to like Irish people about McGregor, they're not crazy about him, but she loved him. She thought he was really fucking sick and all that shit.
It's very hit or miss. I've come across Irish people that don't care for him, and I've come across people that fuck with him heavy.
She was a little old lady, so I thought she wouldn't fuck with him. But she was like, "He's a boxer, yeah?" And I was like, "Yeah, he does MMA." She's like, "Yeah, I like that guy."
He's proper.
Yeah, he's like, she said something about him like punching someone, but
Yeah,
she was
he did.
like, she was telling me about wherever he's from, the District 12 or whatever. She was like, that's a real like rough area, like that's not a good place to grow up or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like that's what she liked about him. She was like, yeah, he really came from like the
Came from
slums.
nothing, huh?
I mean, not like some of these fucking other fighters who are like coming from the
Right.
mountains and shit like that. But you know, levels to this shit.
I feel like if Alex didn't have the language barrier, he could easily be what Connor is on the mic. You know what I mean? Because he has that same exact one punch knockout star power. If it was just translatable to the masses, he would be the next McGregor.
Yeah, and he's even become like the closest thing we've had
100%.
to it without it. But Connor was just the perfect storm of literally everything. Like it was just must see. Like, dude, people were showing up to the weigh-ins.
People like
were
to
showing
see
up to the
him-
weigh-ins,
Exactly.
and it was
People
like
like to
literally
see-
packed out.
People like
The
to
press
see him
conferences.
talk just as much as they like to see him fight.
Was
you
that
know?
was that it? His press conferences.
Yeah.
It was
were
all
everything?
it was all of it.
Because John Jones is a fucking dog, but he wasn't the star that McGregor was.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, no, it was all of it because then when he had his debut, like and you see it when you go back and watch the documentaries and shit. Like he was winning fights, but then he's talking shit. Now he's the guy that's talking shit, and now he's knocking them out too. Like if you go back and watch, like he fought Poirier the first time at 145, and he's talking all this shit, and Dustin, you can see he's not the same guy at all. Like he's a young guy, you can see that it bothers him, and like and then he loses the fight.
I watched that fight when
Bounce
they
your
went to
fucking head off the canvas.
when they went to even touch gloves. Dustin tried to slap his hands away,
Yeah,
and then he wasn't even there for him to slap him. I was like, I saw that shit. I mean, I knew Essie, please. I knew how that fight was gonna go, but like even just the beginning, I was like, "Oh man, you could tell this dude is not in his element." He went to like touch gloves. Dustin slapped his shit away, and he moved that shit before. And I was like, even that, I was like, nah, bros.
There's
bro's
a.
angry.
I'm sure you've seen it too. It was into all the lead ups in the Dustin Poirier 2 and 3, but it was for the first fight where they met in the hotel lobby, and he had him like fired the fuck up, and then it shows McGregor watching a clip of Dustin Poirier like pissed about what he said to him, and he's just like geeking out. You know how McGregor does. He's just,
Poirier was like, I've never hated someone this much, and
Yeah.
Connor was like, he said he never fucking hated someone this much. Yeah, bro, that's fucking nuts, bro. But
he loved the chaos.
yeah.
I mean, he says he's back for another run. Like he wants to actually fight multiple times, but it'll just you can never recreate the perfect storm of everything that built him to what he is, and then especially now that he's lost, it's just not the same. But people will definitely
But he looked good in that last fight.
People will be watching
Until he broke his
People
leg.
will be watching, and if he wins that fight, now we're talking about how many other crazy fights are out there for him. And again, there will be there, and eyes will be watching, and they'll have crazy other fights on those cards. And if McGregor is around and doing well, the UFC will also be doing well.
You saw the documentary with his last fight where he was even talking about his fracture beforehand.
Mhm.
Bro, I wish.
Why? I wish he would have waited. It would have. I heard this like 8 weeks,
Yeah,
and he's been out 2 years now.
because he let that shit completely fucking snap.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a devastating break, bro. And now he's got that fucking titanium shit,
Yeah,
man.
I was gonna say now he keeps talking about the titanium rod.
Now he's making
I'm
it
gonna
seem like.
wrap this titanium rod around your head.
Put around his head. Yeah.
Do you think that McGregor's mindset? Do you think any of it's a gimmick, or do you think that it's all?
No, I think that's McGregor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You think he was that before the UFC?
No.
I think the
his
only
early-
thing that pulled him away from that is like we saw in Dustin Poirier at 1, is when he had all his children. You know, he had a very long break, or Dustin Poirier 2.
Mm-hmm.
He had that very long break, and he had all those kids.
Mm-hmm.
Is the opposite of Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira was quitting in matches, and then he had his daughter, and then everything fucking changed. He became a goddamn assassin, bro. You know?
Yeah, like literally, his next fight just showed up and like it just in the fate. You know what I mean? Especially like when you become mentally strong, it was like a whole different
He's
fighter.
fighting for a whole different reason.
It's a whole different fighter.
In McGregor's earlier interviews where it shows him talking, he doesn't have the same bravado. He's very like reserved. You know,
Yeah.
he's talking confidently, but like I don't know, he just looks like fucking
I mean,
pimple
yeah,
face young
the
kid.
confidence of doing the things that you said you were going to do and becoming everything you thought you were going to do, and like that's what I'm saying. Every fight that he won, it was like the shit talk got crazier the next time, like, and you could just see it growing until it was like, oh, this guy's actually now is where he's fighting contenders, and then the guys that were supposed to be good 145ers are upset, and then now like the Chad Mendez fight, so then Aldo couldn't go, so I think Mendez was supposed to fight Aldo, I think, and then Aldo got hurt, so then Mendez had to fight McGregor, and Mendez was this fucking big muscle hamster fucking dude who's like a established good fighter, right? And McGregor's like the up and comer, and just back and yeah, bro. That fight was really good because Conor actually got in trouble. Like, you know what I mean? He had Conor in trouble.
Do you know
in that
what
fight.
age McGregor had his UFC debut?
You're not.
Debut maybe like 24 or something because he was young too. He's a young champion. 25 maybe.
Oh wait. Oh, his first amateur fight was at 18. I'm looking for his UFC debut.
I'm sure you can find it,
I'm asked ChatGPT, bro. I try to Google it.
bro. Couldn't Google it?
Google just started
McGregor
giving me
UFC
more
debut?
shit. Yeah, it was just giving me all his backstory.
See. For records, I like to go to. There's a website, another website actually, but ESPN. You can just find their whole thing, and it has before UFC too, and so it's just very easy to look through.
What is it, like Topology?
I think that might be the other one that I was thinking of that has their entire record.
You guys ever watch The Circle on Netflix?
I've not. I've heard of it though.
It's pretty decent. This season they have a contestant that's so like people catfish people to try to be someone that they're
Yeah.
not and try to win that way. And this time there was an AI pretending to be a person. Everyone fucking believed it was a
Really?
real person, bro.
No way.
Y'all gotta check that shit out.
Chill. Did you just spoil it though?
That's scary.
No,
Okay.
That's kinda
Oh, like
scary.
you knew that it was an AI while watching
they'll
it?
tell you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like the
I mean,
people
it's
in the
very
other people
obvious
in the
it's
show.
AI. They have a box on it because it's everyone. Like they give them a hotel room, and they have like a computer that they talk to and chat to other people. Some people will try to be like it'll be an old man, and it'll try to be like a hot girl. This, that, and
So
the
he's
other.
got like a fake profile picture, but he's talking to people
This
as
was
if
it.
he's a young person.
Yeah, this AI, bro, it was fucking crazy.
That's
Alright,
crazy.
yeah.
He had people fooled.
Me and Bree trying to look for another show to start watching and fucking talk about on the pod and shit. Because we saw Too Hot to Handle. We were like, that's a good one. But we were like, we'll try something else. So that's probably gonna be a
Circle's
good one to
interesting.
start with.
It's
The
fucking
Circle.
AI person.
Hell
So
yeah.
that's-
Hey boys, I really appreciate you guys coming on today. This was a fucking banger of an episode, man.
It's been a pleasure.
Hell yeah. Thank you
Always,
guys for
man.
watching. Like, comment, subscribe, follow the boys, follow my man Dan, follow my man Blake. Tell them where to find you guys.
I'm on IG, Blake_Guesser.
IG, man. Dan Torrey. X is what the kids are on these days, man. We're on X.
Sounds like an
X on
inappropriate site.
Bleezus, you know, the one and only.
Hell yeah. All right, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out.
Thanks, everybody.